Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MIRRORMOURN. I am your Dungeon Master, Esper. I am a bit tired today, so I'm going to do my best to try to remember what I'm supposed to do as the DM. Why don't you guys introduce your characters, and then we'll start stirring up some trouble.
Hello, I'm Warsor, and I play Walykos, the level 4 Paragon of the Trickster.
I am Vince, and I'm playing Vapor, the wild magic sorcerer.
I'm Nick. I'm playing Adriel, the swashbuckling rogue, who's not actually a pirate, but that's for another time.
And I'm Adam, and I'm playing Aygir, and he is an Artificer. And not to be that guy, but I think you're supposed to tell us to roll dice, right? That's what the DM does.
Roll
right?
dice.
Okay.
Each of you roll multiple dice.
Whenever you ask the DM, can I roll something, that's going to end poorly.
I should not have done that because I rolled my first and probably only natural 20 of the night, and there it is.
You have just rolled the amount of damage you have taken from rocks falling on you.
Well, that's good because I rolled really low and an actual natural 1.
Okay.
Oh no, this campaign has had a lot of
The
natural
mountain
20s.
collapses, smothering everyone except for Vapor, who levitates above. But the levitation inevitably runs out, and he falls, and the mountain ground is not there anymore because it collapsed, and he takes solid falling damage.
Cool, I have a new character. Let's go.
All right.
All right.
That was a good
Actually,
campaign,
surprisingly,
everyone.
when that spell runs out, you don't take any fall damage. It actually sets you back down gently
Okay.
So
because there's an actual cap hit
Gingerly
on it.
sets you down into the mouth of the purple.
let's recap what happened last time.
Yes. You have been at Blackrock Isle for 3 sessions, seeking out a ruin of a giant citadel, and specifically seeking to prevent a rival party, an enemy party, the Thralls of Baal, from locating,
Well, now we get a map.
potentially absconding with artifacts of the
Oh, this is
bygone era.
the world map.
And I am freezing, as in my computer is freezing. Oh, are you?
I
all
thought you
still-
were just saying you were cold. I was
I'm
like,
here.
I am
I'm
actually
actually
rather warm here in the Kansas summer in my upstairs room.
Yeah.
Okay, apparently the lag has run its course. So the relics that you hoped they would not retrieve from the giant citadel were powerful weapons, some sort of sphere or orb known as the Eye of Fire. Supposedly it's
Those.
this like
Yeah.
pure elemental fire contained in a magic orb, and a God Slayer, which is some kind of very powerful axe or great sword or something. Weapons of this sort that could possibly still be at this ruined citadel, and could also possibly be used by the, what would we call him, the Shadow Lord, this clandestine puppet master, giant sorcerer, magic user, strange warlocky
Baal-Vonder?
character, Baal-Vonder. So you thwarted the thralls of Baal, and it was I must say, a singularly interesting encounter. You all went to the entrance of the dungeon. You did not go into the dungeon, and you waited and you let the enemy party come out. They seemed kind of wounded, and then you let them go back in, and they came out the next day celebrating some manner of victory, and had brought back with them some items. But the Sentinel of Blackrock Isle, let's call him, he seemed okay with whatever they had retrieved. He seemed to confirm that they did not pluck from this ruin any of the powerful artifacts, and what they did find were maybe lesser magic items. And then you all proceeded to do this long range across the lake firefight, this long range battle, simultaneously letting the lake monster chew at them, and you whittled them down and used patience and good tactics, and you emerged the victors for now.
With 1 hit point. Walykos did die during that fight.
That is true.
But when you carry around a scroll of Revivify, you should never be surprised if you sometimes get killed and then your killer ends up using it to revive their dead comrade.
Now, interesting fact, I just want a point of order. Technically, I had an injury by going down, and I would normally have an injury when being brought back. But we've looked up the rule, and there's a rule that they added that if you're ever revived from the dead, you lose a level of exhaustion, which is the injury. So Revivify technically brought him back, so he has no injury.
There must be some kind of situation where Revivify wouldn't work, like it would. The person has all those exhaustion levels, maybe.
Yeah, well, probably what would happen
wouldn't
is
actually work.
Well, let's say you died from exhaustion, Esper. Let's say you had like 7 levels of exhaustion. Revivify would remove 1 level of exhaustion, so you wouldn't instantly die again.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Anyways.
So, does that mean you were at 0 or 1 levels of exhaustion?
0, because I had not dropped before that. And if I did, but then we had a long rest the day before.
That's right.
Yeah, so
okay.
I'm at 1 hit point though.
I recall that. So Walykos, you are correct me if I'm wrong, you're in one of the boats.
Yes.
Yeah, you're in one of the boats. And if you remember, there's this mountain top lake with this little islet that has the ruins of this giant citadel. And there were a couple of these rowboats, and you were actually in one, and you were really on the brink of your soul departing into the great beyond. And that is the last little, strand of your soul was about ready to break free. A great force pulled you back into your body, and a sensation runs over you like a jilting lightning. And there's Aygir looking at you, and you feel awful. You feel like you sustained a great amount of damage and lost a lot of blood.
Yeah, this isn't just a hit me with a cure light wounds, I'll be fine. It's I just got beaten to an inch of my life.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, a little healing magic's not going to fix this right away, per se. Aygir, what happened?
You're muted.
You're muted this whole time.
I see this. Well, I don't really know the easy way to say this, but you were dead. You died. They killed you. They knocked you to the ground and kept bashing you until you stopped moving. It was just bad. But there was the scroll, and now you're not dead. So
did they get away? Did they take the artifacts?
No, Walykos. We killed them.
They have only escaped into the great beyond. The souls, that is, the bodies are down at the bottom of the lake.
Good. Let's get back to shore. I need to rest.
Yeah, I'd say so.
There's still like blood all over me, probably. My mask is probably cracked and shattered.
Yeah, Adriel will sort of like help Walykos like up, or just like help him get to the shore once we get there and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Indeed, Adriel and Aygir, you row the boat to the shore of the tarn, and from the roof of the partially broken tower top, the high tower of the citadel ruin, there is the half giant known as Ninrod, and he has this like long, stoic, almost not melancholy, that's not the right word, an aloof, a cool, almost cold demeanor, stony colored skin, and he wears this hooded robe of like very dark blues and ashen colors, and a heavy brow that shades his eyes, and he watches almost statue-like and somewhat impartial, though he did point out to Adriel that there was a scroll of import upon the body of she was a sorceress of some kind. Oh, yes, but her body was actually taken away by the lake monster. It was Cyrus the Crab Knight who had taken the scrolls from her, and then tragically himself got killed, and you took the scrolls from his cold dead hands.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you all have reached the shore. The shore of this perhaps poisoned or tainted water lake.
So I don't suppose any of you want to move again for some time. We should do as we did last night and stay here, but maybe with a fire this time. We're not worried about being seen, are we not?
Yes, it might be. We might be in due for a bit of resting.
Yes.
We should definitely keep some watches, though. We don't want to get snuck up upon.
I don't think
Walykos.
we should stay on the island very long. The longer we're here, the more likely that we'll attract attention of
Well,
one
I
of the
certainly
apex
agree.
predators.
But are
Yes,
you in
I-
any condition to move, Walykos?
Give
Are
me
we
a
on the
moment.
center island where the citadel is, or back on the shore that we were at? Just
We're on the shore, I
The
believe.
shore. We're on
Yeah.
the shore.
Okay.
Well,
If we were on the
you're
island, I had an
actually
idea.
in the
Okay.
center of the island, but you're at the shore of this mountain lake.
Yeah. Like where we were firing upon them, that's where we're
Yeah.
at.
I know. what
Okay,
you're
I was wondering if we were.
You're
this-
here
saying.
on the island.
So to answer your question, Waliko says, give me an hour, and we'll see how well I feel after that.
All right, that works for me.
Yes, that sounds suitable.
Just, if
The captain and his ship won't wait forever. We can't delay too long. If they leave us here, we'll be stranded.
But
And-
if something bad should befall you again, I don't have I certainly can't write a magic scroll that
I understand, but if something bad were to befall me or all of us if we stay here, that's worse than just, something dropping me again on the way out. I was dead. I thought that my life, I saw my thread of my life almost gone. And then something happened. I don't know what magics, but it pulled me back.
I happened. Me and that scroll. So, don't go wasting a chance.
Well,
you
that
have
scroll
a second
is
chance,
magic.
and you're telling me you were just okay with it? You were happy to die? That was just... What?
I did not say those words. You just said those words.
Oh, well, all right then. Sorry, that's what I thought you implied. But, all right.
But I will say that if we want to survive, we have a better chance if we try and get off the island faster rather than spending a whole another day here.
This is
What?
true.
Let's regroup in an hour. I'm gonna lie down, and he does so.
Yeah,
Basically.
I kind of figured this conversation could be happening during the beginning of a short rest, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Waliko stops responding to you then and closes his eyes.
Yeah, quick question. May I attune to the +2 strength belt during our short rest?
Yes, so you recovered 2 magic items from the
3,
thralls of Baal.
technically. There was a scroll of invisibility I wrote down as well.
That is right. So there's actually, you recovered 4 in total. The scroll got used. So
True.
there's one more scroll, which is a scroll of invisibility. A nice
Yep.
thing that.
Yeah, we have a +1 Maul, the belt of +2 strength, and the scroll of invisibility.
That's it. The +1 Maul, as Aygir determined, is simply that. It's an enhanced magic weapon. For one such as yourselves, it's this hefty 2-handed thing that takes quite a bit of effort to swing. For a giant, it probably would have been, like a one-handed light hammer that you probably throw around.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure that
belt,
like,
and it doesn't need attunement. It's just a
Oh,
weapon
it doesn't?
swing, right?
Wait, the belt?
however, you will need to attune to it as a belt of strength +2. If you want to flavor that up, we could use like a MIRRORMOURN creature, so and it's like a belt of Agong strength +2 or something.
Paragon.
Always the
Ogong-
Ogongs.
Are Ogong strong?
Sure.
It's not like
Okay, so just a quick question. Who's getting the +1 Maul and who's getting the invisibility scroll?
So, the way I thought we left it off last time was Aygir was going to hold on to the Maul and then probably sell it or
Okay.
trade it for something, and then
Yeah, sell it and split the money.
or possibly argue in favor of trading it for something if money is not available. But also, just a kind of related to that, a point of note, I never really nailed down last time what. So when I leveled up to 4, I was able to exchange one of my Artificer infusions for another one. So I got rid of Replicate Magic Item, (1) of Secrets, because that's a fun item, but not terribly useful in most situations. And I was toying with making it a Cap of Water Breathing instead. Replicate Magic Item, Cap of Water Breathing. But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to officially go with Replicate Magic Item, Bag of Holding. So during this short rest, or technically mechanically at the end of it, I will be able to start using that infusion. So during this short rest I'll have made, I think it's a short rest, it's either that or a long rest. But at some point I will be making a Bag of Holding, and the hammer will go into that.
You should use something that you learned during the fight, or like off of one of their bodies, as like your bag of holding, whatever.
Right, or maybe what if we saved some parts of some creatures we slew on this island?
Cool idea. Remember they used the rope trick. Maybe that got you thinking.
That's
About
exactly.
extra-dimensional space. And maybe you somehow use that magic to make your bag of holding.
And I've taken a bunch of those little bracelets the Firbolg children made, and I've strung them together like a daisy chain. I've taken an awl and poked a little hole through that one gold coin that Shaggy the Bugbear on the ship gave me, and I've used that to make a drawstring for the bag to hold it shut. So, there we go.
Your decorative bag, which is ready to hold all sorts of things, more than meets the eye. The Wand of Secrets, I think, was rather fitting for Aygir, but as you said, it's a more niche thing, and, well, you can go poking around looking for secret things fine and well on your own, whereas the bag has a general application, and they tend to be rather helpful items to have. Well, you all sit down, or perhaps even lie down. I'm sure Walykos is lying down there amongst the sand and the pebbles and the rock and the brush. It's somewhat chilly up here in these mountains, but it's not snowing, it's not icy. It's just you probably want to get a little fire going, those that were swimming in the water. Otherwise, you'll be rather cold. And you're tending to your wounds and recovering and resting and strategizing. And Aygir is tinkering with this bag. At a point, Ninrod comes over to where you all are, and the way he gets down from the tower is something magical. You've seen it before. He has these jaunts he can do, these short-range teleportations, and then he wades into the water, and he's quite tall. He's probably 9 feet tall, so he can wade out quite a ways, and then he has to swim, and he swims, and he wades the rest of the way, and crouches down on his haunches to where you all are, takes a stick and writes some words in the dirt. I believe he was communicating specifically with a couple of you who speak Sylvan. I think that was a common language that you all were communicating with.
I don't speak Sylvan.
Aygir was the
think-
only one who could
I think
speak it, I
Walykos
believe.
and Aygir.
Walykos and Aygir,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
That's correct. I think he spoke a couple of languages, but Sylvan was the one that he understood the best of all the ones that we speak.
So he writes a few characters in Sylvan. As you all have discovered, he does not speak. He has taken a vow of silence, and he seems to come from a monastery at this northern island that's like north of the Western lands, north of the Cloud Steppe. Anyhow, he writes, you, and you understand this as a plural, you all, you enter Satyr Vigil? It's a question.
Not if we can help it. We came here to do one thing, and we've done that thing.
Yes, that's not our goal here.
He gives a nod of understanding, wipes the dirt clean, and writes again. Victory is yours this day.
So it would seem.
Gives you all a nod of recognition.
No victory is complete without returning home. Do you know a safe path that we can return to our ship, the shore that we came from?
This island is not safe.
Yes, we know. If you are headed in that direction, you could guide us, but I understand if you do not wish to do so. Otherwise, we'll be on our way as soon as our rest is complete.
I will return. Same path you may follow. So he indicates that he's going to take the same slope as before, which was arduous and dangerous.
I mean,
According to him, it's the least.
I was going to say that's unless we have a hang glider, to just fly off this mountain. Do we have a hang glider, Esper?
You should ask the artificer about that.
Aygir, do we have a hang glider?
Not that I can build in an hour. I need a bit more time than that.
Okay.
It shouldn't be hard, but I could do it. It would take me a while, you know.
Sure. All right. Yeah, I guess we'll go back that path. Although Vapor, can you? I'm just trying to think if there was some way to carry him and get him past it quicker. Only we had some sort of extra dimensional space or something.
Well, we can't put him in the bag of holding.
So
Actually, Vapor can survive in the bag of holding because Vapor has an
Yeah,
air
but
hold his breath.
yeah, but we can't put you in. We can't put you in it like it's a homebrew. We were not allowed to put you in.
I have
Yeah.
a house rule that does not.
Okay.
Yeah.
permit-
Because if we went by
for this
if we went by the
exact reason.
because if we went by the
this is
non
the lesser of all the evils I saw perpetrated using a bag of holding. I remember specifically one dungeon which was full of all kinds of precarious terrain and dangers, and the whole party just proceeded to go to the bag of holding that the monk was on, and he just boom, 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 boom. The shadow
because
monk
you can
teleported
breathe
and
in the bag of holding for
feather
10
falls
minutes.
down.
So what you're saying is we need a warlock of the genie.
yeah.
Takes us all in his little lamp.
Well, no, we need a genie-packed warlock, and we need a really tanky character to carry the thing.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, Vapor, are you going to be okay? I mean, it's all downhill, at least, but you almost had a bad experience last time. Do you still have charges on that ring?
Vapor looks at the ring and lets out a sigh. I only have one charge left.
One charge.
Use it wisely.
Do you know that magic that's in the ring?
Absorb elements. Might know it, but I doubt he can use it.
I mean, if you know the magic, then
No,
you.
I don't.
yeah.
He does not know this He doesn't have it currently ready.
Vapor did
and
learn a
it's not
spell
on-
innately while on this island, but it was a mind blast.
It was Tasha's
Mind.
mind whip or whatever.
There
it
we go.
was. Yeah,
Mhm.
which is a great spell.
A rather effective spell, but to altogether different ends.
Yeah.
Vapor, do you feel concerned going back down the
Well,
steam
Let's-
geyser slope?
let's ask this, because this may be the least dangerous to us, but it might be the more dangerous to Vapor. Maybe Vapor has a more dangerous to us route they can take that's not very dangerous to him.
Maybe so.
You're literally jumping down a sheer cliff.
Well, I was kind of thinking, like, even if you like fall and take a bunch of damage, so long as you pull yourself back together, you know.
Well, so as long as I could find a way to levitate down, that would be literally the same.
Oh yeah, levitate. You also have that as well.
Yeah.
Does levitate
But-
have a range on how far it can go down and up? I thought it's.
I think it's only 10 feet as far as because
30
like you maybe because like I know that usually speaking
I can only
spells are
change-
not meant to like be able to copy other
Vapor's
spells.
got the spell. Yeah.
I have the spell.
With levitate, you can move
I-
vertically
20
up or
feet
down,
up or
up to
down
20 feet
each.
each turn.
Yeah.
So, and it lasts for 10 minutes. So you
Okay.
could theoretically get up or down rather far. And as Vince pointed out to us at the beginning of the session, in fact, when the spell ends, you don't just fall. You
Yeah,
float
you float
gently. So, in fact, levitate might be an option.
But the problem is, I can only innately cast it
Okay.
once.
So what about
once
this?
per day, right?
Why,
Yeah.
why not this so we don't split the party? Why don't you levitate like 20 or 30 feet in the air, 50 feet? We got a rope to you and we'll pull you through the mine. You know, like what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the lava's not going to hit you. It's going to be hot, but it's not going to be like
The
lava
water
next to your
geysers
skin.
won't get me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They're
that's-
geysers. They shoot up kind of high. How long of a rope do you have?
I mean, 50 feet of rope is, you know.
And we can
just
tie
far-
our
I,
ropes
I
together.
have like a 70-foot rope.
There we
Might
go.
need you might need to knot multiple ropes together.
Sure.
I don't think 50 is quite enough, but 120, that might do it. Or even if you have a third rope, that might be on the safe side.
Yeah.
But Vapor, do you have levitate currently
Yeah.
available to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was thinking of using it last session with when Adriel was going to swim out. Use it and have him tow me along above the surface so I could
yes.
a sniper up in the air.
Nice.
But he said no.
That's
and just
probably,
went swimming.
yeah, that probably would have.
Well, I didn't necessarily say no. I just didn't even hear you because I was already in the water going to
Yeah.
help Walykos.
Well,
Also, I think it was a
Vapor's
passing
mine is-
idea
you
that
said
ended
no.
up not being the best route to take.
So
Okay,
I still
well,
technically have that.
That might be a solution. What do you think, Vapor?
As long as whoever's, you know what, Vapor's gonna take off the ring. Who would be the best one to have him tow? To pull him through, because he's gonna give the ring to that person to attune to, so they have. at least one.
Adriel.
It would-
just
I was
jumped
about to say it would
off the
actually
cliff
be-
too.
Yeah, Adriel is Adriel's pretty good at like dexterity, so he's good at dodging crap. But
See if,
I suppose
see
when you're
if-
levitating, you don't.
do I
really
have
weigh
the
much.
do I have
yeah.
the highest strength? I don't know if I have the highest strength.
It-
I have a
the
10
strength doesn't really
With
matter.
with
that
the
much.
Oh,
belt,
okay.
Strength's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
What Vapor's wanting is someone who can dodge the damage and get through as quickly as
Oh,
possible.
that would
that
be
is
me.
probably Adriel, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's
he's gonna
definitely me.
hand the ring to Adriel and look at him. If you don't use it, I want it back.
I'll take it and look and I'll say, well, let's hope I don't have to use it, and then I'll.
There's only
put it
one
on.
charge left.
May I spend my hit dice, Esper?
Yes, let's not.
Oh
forget
yeah,
that.
yeah. I want to spend mine as well.
Yeah. Whatever you have remaining, go
I
ahead and
have-
spend it.
I have 2 remaining because we had long rested, and I, you know, that's what.
Well, my first hit dice was max, so now I'm at 37. I'm missing 2 hit points, but I think I'll save my last hit dice just in case we need to take another long rest or short rest.
Well, I didn't roll great, but I do get my Constitution mods.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I'm only missing 2 hit points right now, so I'm gonna save my last hit dice.
All right. I'm gonna drink the potion of healing as well because I only got back 9 hit points. So potion of healing. Okay, 1 It's average. Got 6 more, so I'm up to 16.
So what does this ring do again? It's an absorb elements ring.
Yeah.
So it like halves the
One
damage,
absorb
right?
element's left in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not great, but I trust my hand of fate to see me through this. That and my speed. Hopefully, we can get through quickly.
Yeah. I got good hit points, good speed, good dex, inspiration, absorb elements ring. I'm like, let's do this, guys.
I'm feeling pretty confident. Okay, can somebody tell me the total amount of feet of the strands of rope that you put together?
So I have 70. What does
Okay.
everyone else have?
It sounds like 120 if you did a 70 and a 50. Right?
Okay, so 100, we have 120.
50, yeah.
And I would assume that like
you have a 50-foot rope as well.
Yeah.
Are you going to add that in?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
so 170 feet.
So you've got 170, maybe
Well, so
160. There's like knots in there taking
Yeah,
up a
of
bit
course,
space, and someone has to. Are you tying it to yourself, Adriel, or just holding it?
I'm just gonna hold it.
Okay.
I'm
It's
not
like
quite
he's a balloon.
sure.
He's not going to float away.
Yeah.
I was just doing math earlier. I wasn't saying that Aygir was adding his to it, because as a matter of fact, he's not. He's saving it for use in climbing, because we're going to need to climb down a place, and we're going to need a rope for that. Did Vapor himself have one, though?
Vapor does, so he'll add
So
it.
then, yeah.
Okay, there we go. So you have 3 ropes. Seems like that should be a safe bet. And are you all prepared for the descent? Should we go now?
I'm good.
Sure. I'm not
All right.
super confident about this hit point, but I mean, even with 29 hit points, you might still kill me. Even so.
Does levitate only work on one person at a time?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And I can only use it once per day.
Yeah, makes sense.
It comes from
How many?
It comes from you yourself, not your class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Because
a
behind
racial
the
trait.
scenes, you're an air Genasi.
Esper,
Gotcha,
how many
gotcha.
checks did it take to get across last time?
3.
4? 3?
3.
Okay,
Yep,
3.
it was 3 rounds.
And we failed 2 of them, which is the reason why I had to burn 2 of those charges.
All right. Well, while we're like getting vapor into the air and stuff, I don't know if we're doing that right now. I have something like
He's
As
going to
we're-
do it right before they enter, so that way he's got the
Okay.
maximum air time.
makes sense.
I think that's now. You all are indicating to Ninrod that you're prepared for the descent. And
Just one point of order. That ring, Adriel, are you at full hit points?
I'm missing 2 HP.
I almost want to ask, like, would you mind if I take the ring? Because I'm at like half hit points.
No, my ring. No, I'm just kidding. No, Adriel will take the ring off
I
and
will
say,
feel a
and, yeah.
lot more confident about getting through this. At
Yeah, so
least
while-
with 1 hit point left.
I
wanna
guess
get to the other side.
while Adriel's like getting ready to like make the run through this with like the rope in his hand, you like mention it, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's probably better on you, Walykos. I'm feeling much better than you are probably. I mean, you just kind of came back to life recently."
Yeah, I'll put the ring on and make sure I get attuned to it so I can use it.
Adriel secretly like, "Damn you, Walykos."
I'll be
all
like,
right.
all as planned.
Okay, well, that seemed like a sound tactic, switching the ring over to Walykos. So that might end up serving you all better. You indicate to Ninrod that you're ready, and you begin the descent. Now, you were at the top of this rather large, wide mountain with rather steep, almost vertical spire-type bits at the top. Where Ninrod leads you is a natural pathway. It's a slope that's not as steep. It's a slope that has an incline such that you can walk it pretty well. It's not so steep that you have to be like on all fours, or you might just go careening off some edge to your doom. It's a rocky mountainous slope. The main danger, however, comes from erratic blasts of scalding geysers, and you even see wisps of steam, trailing off at various miscellaneous spots all throughout this slope. You are heading in a roughly southerly direction, maybe south by southeasterly direction. Again, each round is abstracted. This is going to represent more than just a 6-second passage of time. It represents an amount of time, not an extremely long unit of time, short enough that I think absorb elements would be fine to use, even though it's like an instant thing that just lasts for one round. Now, there are a couple of choices you can make, and I will present them to you here. Though, as always, if you have a different creative option, I'm game. So you can just follow Ninrod, the path that he's picking out, the specific steps that he takes, or you can elect one of your own party members to navigate the way and follow that guy. Or if you all really are feeling saucy, each of you can just blaze your own trail and don't follow anyone. Each person has an opportunity to make one skill check. So the navigator person, if someone does navigate, is survival. If you don't want to navigate, if that's not your strong suit or not your preference, you can do something else. Some suggestions are acrobatics.
I was going to say I want acrobatics, but yeah.
Acrobatics represent gingerly stepping along and using your dexterity and your reflexes to avoid scalding blasts. You can use perception to essentially arrive at the same ends, but just through a different means, using your visual acuity to notice quickly.
What about?
You could use athletics as well, and I will tell you, athletics is a bit of a gamble because what it represents is you actually climb kind of off of the slope into the more precarious areas. So it has a chance just to let you avoid one of the round's danger, though failing it could be disastrous in its own way.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
What about like this is probably gonna be a no. Well, I'm gonna ask anyway. What about like stealth in the sense of like being very gingerly stepping, where like you might not like actually like activate anything at all?
That's literally acrobatics.
I know. I was just saying like maybe I could also.
Encapsulated by the acrobatics.
Okay, I didn't know if there would be
Stealth is
two
usually
different
more to
things,
keep
so.
someone from noticing you.
Yeah, I assumed. I just wanted to check. You never know.
You were trying to use your highest roll. I get it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was trying to use my highest roll.
Succeeding on the acrobatics or the perception gives you yourself advantage on your dexterity saving throw for that round.
I'll go for acrobatics.
Succeeding on
Then.
navigating will give yourself and everyone who's following you advantage on the dexterity saving throw for that round.
I'll go for acrobatics myself, but I'll
Is
go
there-
for acrobatics and then follow whoever does the navigation.
I was going to say, is there no advantage to making acrobatics if the navigator makes it? Like,
Is there no advantage to making acrobatics
So-
if the
so-
navigator succeeds on the survival?
yeah, because you can only get advantage once. That's what I was just asking.
So the survival check is a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, if the navigator puts us in the wrong direction, I have this kind of backup that's not as
Okay.
hard.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Acrobatics, and I'm going to follow the.
Yeah, actually,
the monk.
survival is the hardest DC in this challenge.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll go for acrobatics, and
it's not
I
very
think
easy to pick out a safe trail because there really isn't much of a safe trail.
yeah, I'll go for acrobatics, and I'll actually follow Aygir, assuming you're doing survival. If not, I'll follow Ninrod.
Yeah, I know last time my skill with it is passable, and we did all right by it, to the point where I think it might actually be even slightly better than Ninrod.
Why are you going with him, Adriel?
Well, last time seemed to work out in our favor to follow Aygir Walykos.
All right, step
Well,
lightly.
Ninrod
Yes.
doesn't really, dilly-dally. He just
Yeah.
throws a quick glance over his shoulder and
I
then
just-
proceeds down, blazing his own trail.
I go with him.
you go with him. Okay, Aygir, do you follow him or do you do your own navigating?
I'll do my own navigation.
Okay,
Smart
and then
people
Adriel,
follow
you're
me.
following Aygir.
Yeah, I'm going with Aygir and
Okay,
Wally.
Adriel
Yeah, this is like the
follows
first
Aygir
time
and
Walykos
Adriel
and
is
I.
on the rope.
Yeah, so
And Walykos
Yeah,
is
Vapor's just
following
kind of
Nimrod.
floating up there. As
Yeah.
I imagine if he had a cup of tea, he'd be.
I'm hoping if I do happen to go down, maybe Nimrod might just pick me up. We'll see.
So, Vapor, you use your innate air power, this essence that's with you from a young age, and you levitate yourself up into the air and you rise yourself up till probably as far as the rope will allow you to go, the length of the rope, and then Adriel is pulling you.
As I'm pulling him, I'm
Rather
gonna.
peculiar sensation, but it works.
Yeah, as I'm
And-
pulling him, I'm gonna look to Aygir and say, "So is no one going to mention how Vapor looks like a hot air balloon right now?"
I was going to say, how do you think he floats? Do you think he like sucks in the air?
Yeah, I'm
And
just gonna look up and just say, and then just like keep pulling it.
Well,
Well,
it seems to me he's only slightly more full of hot air than you. So why aren't you up there with him?
Why don't you pull the rope, Aygir?
No, because they went over that way. I'm not going that way. I'm going my way, this way.
Why are you guys still in the middle of the minefield? We made it down there like 3 rounds ago.
All right, so we're rolling
The
checks now,
scalding
right?
geysers blasting here and there, along the slope. They just are continuously going off.
Yeah.
It looks like this rope is going to give enough height, enough altitude to Vapor that he should be safe. So it looks like a good plan. And down you are proceeding.
All right.
I'm going to roll Nimrod's survival.
I'm going to make my acrobatics. Yep.
Yep, we'll just do this
I'll
one at
make
a
mine.
time to keep things organized.
Makes sense.
All right, Nimrod has a 5, so that's not going to be helping you, Walykos. What did you get
I
yourself?
got an 18 on my
Okay,
acrobatics.
so you have advantage on your dexterity saving throw.
Sorry, Nimrod.
Aygir, go ahead and do your survival.
I had a 15.
Come on, Aygir.
15. I don't think it's enough. 15 is not quite enough.
Uh-oh.
And
He's
Why
so-
have you
are-
failed me,
you are
Aygir?
unable to pick out.
Well, Adriel, you still have a chance to
Save.
Yeah.
jump out of the way.
Adriel, you're doing acrobatics.
Acrobatics.
Yes. Okay.
18 as well, actually.
All right. You gingerly make your way and succeed, and you will have advantage on your dexterity saving throw. All right.
All right.
When the things happen, Aygir, you.
Let me know when you need the
I
check.
imagine like all the movement is like Vapor can just
like
feel the rope.
jostling
Just, like,
Vapor
well,
around.
not really jostling because I figure the rope has enough play that it's like.
Oh man, you
He's
can
looking.
totally swing off him. You could use him as like a pendulum that you just swing over the lava if you need to.
So this blast is about as big as they get, and
Oh, son of
it's
a bitch.
causing quite a
At
bit.
least we have advantage on our dex saves while it goes.
Yeah, it's quite
I
a bit.
mean,
of damage.
I'm sure I made mine. I got a
Nimrod
natural
actually
20.
fails his dexterity
Oh,
saving
shit.
throw. However, he has evasion, so he
Okay.
does take half damage, which
He's
is
gotta be
11.
Level 7 monk then.
Yeah, he definitely has some shenanigans.
He's
Or a level 5 rogue, which
he's
I'm
his own
not
thing.
yet.
He's his own thing. All right, so let's do some dex saves. We'll start with Walykos.
I already rolled. I got an unnatural 20.
All right, so
Hey.
you succeed. You take 11 fire.
I'm gonna have to use my charge on that because that's a fucking lot of. Wait, was that 11 halved or
Well, it's 23 halved
Got it.
to 11.
halved to 11, and then I will have it again to 5?
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Yeah, it would be 5.
That's still a lot of damage. For
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's about as large and devastating of a blast as possible.
All right, so I'm doing my dex
Aygir?
save.
Oh, you got okay.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's
Take
okay.
it
Just
from Aygir.
one at a time is more organized. So whoever.
21 for me.
All right, so you have succeeded. Half would be 11.
Oh, yeah, I'll take the 11 because I have to. A funny thing, actually, it did the exact amount of damage that I rolled on my hit dice on my short rest.
Isn't that poetic? Aygir?
Alrighty. 16. One better than last time.
16, I think that is a save. You have succeeded.
Nice.
You take half damage, which, as you have
11.
heard, is 11. Vapor. Well, you're up there pretty high. though I rolled high, so it seems like that's a large blast. Okay, I think you're probably safe, just as long as I don't roll a natural 20 on this D20 roll. 13. Okay, you're fine. Maybe a few little hot drops flick against the
I
bottom
imagine
of your
it
shoes,
comes
and
in
it's
with.
just mildly uncomfortable.
I imagine it comes within 7 feet of vapor. Is how I'm imagining. If it was 20, it would have gotten them all the way.
I was just imagining Esper rolls a nat 20, then we just see Vapor's body like fall.
Oh no! It'd just be this gentle.
Gingerly floats down.
Gingerly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So anyway,
while he's on fire screaming at the same time.
let's keep this going because there's no time to hesitate.
Yeah.
You have to get down off this slope with some.
I keep
quickness.
pushing forward.
Okay, so does anyone change their tactic the second round?
Nope.
No, I'm gonna keep following Aygir, and I'll do my dex save
All right.
or my acrobatics. I mean.
Yep. Let's do this one at a time to keep things organized. So first is going to be Nimrod's survival check.
Yep.
He comes up with a 15, which is not good enough.
Nope.
And then I want Aygir to do the survival check for Adriel.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to be a lot better than last time. That's a 21.
Yeah, Aygir.
That is a success. Okay.
Ninrod, you failing me, boy. What's up with you, Ninrod?
That's why I
You
followed
can only
Aygir.
have so many things. You can't have everything. All right, Walykos.
That's a 27. Yeah, 27.
All right, you have succeeded. You'll have advantage on your dexterity saving throw. Now, Adriel and Aygir already have the advantage. Is there any other thing that Adriel would think that would help in any other way?
Let me think. I mean, would it? I guess like if Aygir's already like got the path, can I just like run really fast, like dash as bonus action, dash as action, just get as far up as possible? Like, is that
as far down as possible?
Yeah, like since he's got the right path, it's just like one.
Yeah, make. You know, there's a good case for both athletics and acrobatics. Athletics is good because it's like, you know, running and sprinting and muscle power. Acrobatics is balancing as you're going down a rock mountain slope.
I would say this would be an acrobatics because there's a wet.
I'll go with acrobatics because I have
so
much
use
better
acrobatics to force yourself down at an otherwise unsafe speed.
Yeah, I kind of like imagine like Aygir like gives us. Yeah, I also
you do have.
I imagine
Aygir.
Yeah, Aygir sort of like gives us the way, and like when like Adriel realizes like he's like, that's the right way, Aygir, and then Aygir's like, yeah, he's like, all right, and then he just starts running down. My acrobatics check is a 23.
Wow, that's really, really good. It's so good. You've even beaten like a high DC by 5. So you've made it all the way off the mountain slope. You and Vapor.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So I get like all the way down there with Vapor. Like you're probably like getting tugged pretty fast.
Vapor's probably a couple feet behind, so he's got to wait till Adriel's a little further through the field.
Yeah, I don't think that levitate actually makes your body light. I think it's purely magic that is holding you buoyant. So I imagine the rope is like taut, and Adriel's like dragging like an anchor through the air.
Well, just something that's like it doesn't want to move.
And there's probably some acrobatics.
Don't say that Adriel never carried his weight around here because he carried your weight
from like a rock down to a much lower rock. And
yeah, once I get to the bottom, like, and I'm like pulling Vapor, I'm gonna say, I get good eyes.
Yeah. So now to see whether Aygir and I die.
Let's go to the fun part of the round.
Ninrod, you're fucking me, boy. I trusted you.
All right, so the damage is not as bad this time. It's a 16.
Jeez. It's still going to drop me if I don't make it.
Nimrod will roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
He succeeds and evades for 0 damage.
I got a 22.
All right. Walykos succeeds for half, so it's 8.
All right, I'm at 3 hit points, so I'm pretty sure I might make it off and fall down.
3.
Oh, okay. Well, Adriel is there to catch you.
Aygir, make a dexterity saving throw with advantage.
Right. 22.
All right,
20 part is natural.
You sustain
Also-
a mere 8 damage.
Funnily enough, the 20 part is natural and the other die is a 2, so I
Yeah.
rolled a 22 either way you look at it.
Yes. Well,
Aygir, you sustain 8 damage as you are,
Ouch.
indirectly scalded from the blast. And you hear the sounds of the geysers are all around you as you're hustling yourself down, and it's a bit chaotic. I know I'm keeping things organized, so that's detracting from the havoc that you might be feeling in the scene. But
oh
it's
no,
all-
I feel the heat. Esper.
all around you, and there's like steam, and you're trying to wave it out of your eyes, and the ground is uneven and slopey. We're in the
Has been filmed.
like the final stretch, right? The last, say, third to get off of this geyser slope. I will ask again if anyone's switching up any tactics.
Yes, I would like to. I just saw Adriel make a run for it, and he made it. I'm going to abandon Nimrod and just go my own way and just run for it with an acrobatics if I can see a path that looks good. So I'm hoping
Okay,
that he will pick the path for me, like how Adriel got his path.
you can do that. Though, do bear in mind, Adriel beat a high DC.
I have a better chance of beating a high DC. I've beat it every time. I've gotten like a 27.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Okay. Walykos decides, Nimrod, you're doing me no good, and with goat-like legs, bounds and leaps and balances and swiftly darts down the slope.
Now, just one point of order before I make this roll, Esper. Adriel had 2 measurements to go. I only have 1 measurement left. Does
Correct.
that affect the DC any? 1 or 2 points, maybe?
Sure. Yeah.
I'll let you decide.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just rolling it. Natural 20.
Oh my God. You are the king of rolling nat 20s in the life or death situations.
Not last time when I died, but
I don't know. I remember there was a time where Adam as your
Carter
bard
Rock. It was just
Carter
yeah.
Hawkins
Carter-
did pull 2 in a row once.
in a row where he got dropped.
Okay, so you're not the emperor.
Nat 20
but
back
the
up.
king.
Nat
Or maybe you're the prince. and
I'll say this. I either roll 1s or 20s in
Uh-huh.
the life or death situation because I've rolled nat 1s during the death saves multiple times. So
Well
Your
done,
dice were
Walykos. With the nimbleness of a mountain goat, you bound down the slope and
sorry, Nimrod.
do not land face first right into a geyser blast. Nimrod will go ahead and
Actually, I feel like I jump just as one explodes behind me, so it looks like I'm jumping out of an explosion.
Adriel puts his hand up and pulls you into the.
It's like I just grab it.
Yep.
Nimrod's survival is a 14 anyhow, so it wouldn't have served you.
I knew it wouldn't. I knew he's been fucking up this whole time.
You can't have everything. He's got a lot of cool stuff, but you can't have everything.
Yeah.
Aygir?
All right. Well, my survival is actually exactly 1 point better than my dex. My acrobatics would be because I'm proficient in it. So I'm going that way, and I'm hoping I don't fail. I don't have a terrible chance, but I did roll a 19, so I hope that succeeds.
Yep, most definitely.
Okay.
All right,
Hopefully he
so we
doesn't
really just
roll-
have to check Aygir and Nimrod too, but I don't think he is in any great risk.
Yeah, his hit
He
points are
doesn't-
enough.
He doesn't seem to be phased by this. He's very evasive and seems quite hardy. So he just kind of troops his way down and doesn't even really pay much attention to you all. He doesn't seem overly worried or perturbed.
I got you.
The geyser blast this time is actually on the low end of things.
Oh, thank goodness.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Nimrod evades it for nothing, and then Aygir make a dex save with advantage.
All right. Watch these be like a 3 and a 4. That's holy shit. That's not a 3 and a 4. It's a 3 and a 2. Oh, I rolled a 5. I failed.
Well,
Bad.
you're actually in luck. The damage is 8.
Okay.
Still would have dropped me even if I had made the
Yeah.
save.
Sure.
So I had to do my thing,
I
otherwise
rolled
I would
almost
have
the
died.
entire spectrum of what 4d6 can do.
Yeah.
It's 46 is 4 to 24, and the highest one was 23.
23.
The
Yep.
lowest one was 8.
Yeah, so you rolled
a 2, and a 3 on that, on the last
Yeah.
one. Or no, a 2, a 1, and a 3 on the last one.
All right. Well,
How you looking there, Aygir?
Not great, but alive
Hey.
and standing.
single-digit hit point buddies.
Yeah, once we like get Aygir into the like off of the this thing, Adriel's gonna like pat him on the back and say, "I appreciate you getting me across fairly unscathed, Aygir."
Oh, you do. You appreciate me. Oh, yes. Oh, I feel so appreciated. Oh, yes. Oh.
Yes, here. Can you help me pull vape up? And I'm like still pulling.
It
Vaper.
looks like you've got it.
I could always cut the rope, you know.
He just floats away into the sun.
Yeah.
He's like, oh god.
Like a balloon.
Some sea turtle later is hacking up. Vapor.
Out of curiosity, would I have finally made it over the field, Esper, or am I still somewhat in the field?
You've made it.
Yeah, I assume that, yeah.
Okay,
past,
as soon as
the guy
Vapor
with the
sees
slope.
that he's completely over, he's just going to start lowering himself down.
It's probably good before the flying monsters come after you. You know, like you get swarmed by what were those drakes?
Worm drakes.
Yeah.
So you all are still on a mountainside, but you are off of the geyser slope. You're at a relatively level, rocky bit of
Nimrod.
mountainside.
Nimrod, is there anything on this island nearby that heals? Any herbs or anything? Because we're in not a good way after coming across that. If you could just
No, you're in a not a good way. Ever.
shut up, Adriel. All of us are in a not good way.
There's not a lot of good dirt here, so he like scoops away some of the rocks, takes one of them and writes on a larger rock surface.
We could go a little further. I was just asking him as we traveled.
You, as in you all, you welcome, stay, my dwelling, my abode, my shelter, however that word translates.
That's probably for the best, because if we encounter even one of those drakes right now, he could spike all of us probably in 3 rounds.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be good to get like an actual safe place to take rest.
Yeah. Maybe Vapor would survive because he just keeps regenerating, but the rest of us would be dead. And if you call that survival, basically being food infinitely.
No, I would not call that survival.
Like the moment the
drakes
drakes realize that you don't die.
So congratulations for that.
Or another milestone.
How many?
You
How many?
cleared another milestone, so congratulations.
Oh man, I'm half a milestone away.
I am 4.5 away.
Getting close to 5th level, right?
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
Yep. I'm 1.5, Mr. Ooh, I did an extra thing by myself and almost died once and got milestones for it.
I mean, yes, I did.
I believe I accidentally put in the video description that only Walykos was 4th level. I think I forgot to update.
Yeah, we're all level 4 now.
Yeah.
Everyone's level 4. I am half from 5, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I will update that. So you are now on your way to Nimrod's dwelling. This will take some amount of time. It's slow going, more so for you all. He's got these jaunts he can do, and he's this tall mountaineering fellow. But it's slow going for your party.
So these jaunts they're so quick that you could blink and miss it.
Well,
You could blink
maybe.
and miss it.
Yeah, maybe so.
Or are his steps kind of, we can't see them so well, they're kind of misty, his steps.
It's really neither of those, but there is some similarity.
shadowy almost way he
Not
walks.
shadowy. No. He's his own thing. Don't try to figure it out too hard. Okay, so I am going to roll a thing that must be rolled.
Yeah, of course.
There is no sightings of any such danger, and you don't know if that's just, happenstance, right? Just the sheer dumb luck of it all, or if the island inhabitants don't come near, like maybe they avoid Nimrod because
He's the apex predator.
he seems like he's pretty capable, and he has these these frost dagger things. You're not sure what he can do with them, but he must be able to do something of note with them.
Note: don't come back to this place until we're at least his level. Got it.
So his abode is, like a couple mountains over, and it takes a while to pick your way through the mountain terrain. It's rather rugged, but you get there, and the place where he lives is sort of cave-like. It's this rock formation that's actually up near the peak of a mountain. It's kind of near this crested, higher spot on the mountain, and it's a rather unique shaped rock formation. You're not entirely sure if it's natural. It could have been worked. It's sort of hard to tell. On the map, I've represented it by this little icon here. So it has these ridgy, spiky bits, and there's a part where you can slip between these two larger portions of the rock, and it creates this cave-like shelter, like a really, really large nook almost. Especially for you all, it's cozier for him. And you can see, here he's got this, bedroll area, and here he's got a little cooking, fire building spot, and here he's got some basic supplies on some shelves, some natural shelves. There's a place to sit. He's taken the skins of some animals here. He's made these wind chime or decorative elements made of bones of beasts. But the place is not overly elaborate. You would call it like a hermit's dwelling is what it seems like to you all.
It's bachelor pad. I get it.
For what it is, he keeps it tidy. It's definitely very rustic and rugged. So it has no amount of luxury whatsoever. But for what it is, seems to be tidy and organized. And he starts preparing a meal and goes about his duties, and just kind of leaves you all to tend to your wounds and tend to yourselves.
I am going to look for a comfortable place to just crash, because I could probably use another 8 hours of sleep, or at least 6 hours.
All right, so you crash, as you say. He's got some sandy dirt laid down, smoothed out for the floor, and then he's laid a few animal skins on top of that. So it's it's better than sleeping on.
He's done like that Cambodian guy on YouTube where he's dug some stuff out of the sandstone and
are you talking about?
Built a pool and
the guy who does he builds his stuff and
reeds and
He literally takes a shovel and just makes everything.
Yeah.
There is something primitive about this place, indeed. So
just wake me up tomorrow.
When September ends?
No, tomorrow.
Okay, so what?
And yes, I did get the nuggets.
What might be a potential thing? I'm just reading through some different notes that I have.
If you ever want to terrify Billy Joe Armstrong, you wake him up with a Halloween mask on, and then he'll be terrified because he'll think he overslept.
That's actually pretty good.
No, it's not.
It's pretty good. I like those kinds of jokes.
No, it's not. No, you don't. You shouldn't.
Well, the following day is definitely not green, and you awake to a blue sky above. And,
Did we get a long rest?
Yes. I'm sorry. I was trying to run with the questionable joke there.
Oh,
was there something that you wanted to do during the night?
No, I just we get half our hit dice back after long rest,
you all
right?
get 4 hit dice back, and you can spend them now if you would like.
That's right. We do still have to spend them because we don't. Okay, let me spend some hit dice real fast.
Yes, for those that are watching the stream here that are not familiar with all the house rules, another house rule is that upon completing a long rest, you do not get the automatic refilling of all of your hit points.
All right. Well, I am back to
a
max.
Dreadful rule, if you ask me.
I'm
it
gonna
makes
spend.
it makes every fight you take a lot more strategic
Yeah.
because you have to figure out, can we go into another fight after this, or do we need to retreat?
Yep. Well, I am back to max hit points and 2 hit dice available still, so
Yeah, it definitely makes you think a little bit more about your strategies, and it really
I'm spending all the hit dice
increases
that game. So
And I think it particularly shines in like long distance travel sequences,
like these
encounters.
situations. Yeah.
yeah, this is pretty bad though. I rolled terrible. I had 5 more hit points. So
Hey, it's better than not having 5 more hit points.
I don't disagree. We need to get off this island.
Aygir could probably heal you up some more.
Oh yeah, Aygir, you got some healing love for me?
Right. Yes, I'm actually not quite at full myself after spending all of my hit dice.
Well,
but I do
I'm-
have Cure Wounds as a spell.
I'm about 21 down. So if you can do anything for me, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Honestly, spells to me are secondary to my infusions and my armor. So I'm going to go ahead and burn 2 spell slots, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds twice.
Mhm.
Once on myself, at
Just don't
least
roll-
once on Walykos.
Just don't roll bad.
I mean, if you give me even like a couple, like
Well,
what's your average?
we will see how many I give you. That's a pretty good number. I rolled a 7. That's 9,
I'll take 9
right?
because it's whatever your intelligence mod plus. Yeah,
Sorry, no. It's my spellcasting ability modifier. 11.
11. That's
So, yeah,
even
7
better.
plus-
I'm only down 10 now.
That's good.
And then on myself, I actually rolled a little bit worse, but that's more than enough. I needed to roll a 4. I rolled a
Maybe
So
save- you have any
Oh.
spell slots left after that? I'm not saying use them
Not-
now. I'm
Not
sa-
if I use it a third time.
well,
I have 1.
okay. Well, I was going to say save your last spot because we might need to pick someone up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All right.
true.
As we're like waking up and like doing all this, Adriel's just gonna look at everyone and say, "So, we should get the hell off this island."
I don't
Oh,
disagree.
you think so? What do you think we're doing?
Well, right now it seems like we're waking up, but let's get to it.
I agree. Just thanks for pointing out the obvious.
Let's see. So we've got everything that we need. Looking here, I've got the stone. Good. I want to thank Ninrod for what he's done. I'm gonna offer him the stone back that I didn't use and say I didn't end up needing this. If there's anything I can, do for you, I know that you probably don't care, but I know you came from a monastery. Maybe we can deliver a message for you if there's anyone you care about or someone that you want a message sent to. Even though you can't speak, we can, so we could bring it for you.
Here he is much more capable of writing. He
Yeah.
specifically has a place arranged like a little sand bed. Takes his stick and he writes. Your thanks appreciated. My trial is my own. Go in peace. Perhaps we meet again.
Perhaps we will. I'm certain that we may return here one day if we have to stop another group like that. Or perhaps there'll be some reason for us to come here to stop the one who sent them. So, good luck with your trial.
He gives
Thank
you
you.
a knowing look and a nod. And with that, you part ways from Ninrod. A helpful, but in a limited degree, individual. Rather stoic and in many ways rather neutral.
Oh, you know what? Because he doesn't get off the island much, I have a question, Esper. Does the Grove Sheen stuff that we have, it can't be planted, there's no seeds or anything like that, right?
Correct. It actually comes from a type of fungus,
Yeah,
and they harvest the substance, and it's
a byproduct. It's not the actual plant itself, like
yeah.
in terms of the seeds. Yeah. Okay, I was gonna give him some seeds, if you need it, but I'll give him a little bit and say, do you know what this is? Groshine. Do you want some of this? I can give you a little bit in thanks for your help. No. All right. That's
He's
fine.
like, I don't do drugs, man.
It's not drugs, man. It's herbal medicine.
It's all natural. It's not drugs.
You can't get addicted to all natural herbs.
So yeah, he and his stony face declines the Groshine.
All right. It's the only thing of value that I thought he might not have access to on the island.
So for as much as he does have a couple interesting effects upon him, some equipment of note, he doesn't seem like much of one to accumulate a large
Stuff,
volume
yeah.
or quantity of things.
I gotcha. It was more of a, if I had like a cool little thing that he, like a trinket, like a compass or something, I would give it to him. But I don't have anything like that. So,
And he returns to his post. He returns to the mountaintop, and whether he is watching or meditating or contemplating the mysteries of the universe, you're not quite sure, and he doesn't really let much on. But he seems to be here undergoing some sort of high
trial.
stakes, high danger, very long-term trial. And from what little bits you vaguely surmised about his order, is that they try to undertake the most difficult challenges possible and to shoulder as much burden as they possibly can, and try to do so with as little griping or complaining as possible. And this apparently is how they ascend through their ranks or through their religion, whatever it is. It seems integral to their existence.
Maybe we'll meet the monastery one day if we ever get up in that neighborhood. So,
well, we just might, and we'll probably get to a point where we're going to be looking at you all to see what your next steps will be. But for the immediate step, it is getting off of this island.
all
Now,
right.
Maxwell, Fruck, and his crew and their ship Soonest are hopefully still awaiting you out about right there.
And I think we can probably signal them with a fire, some smoke, or something like that. Or we have a boat. I guess technically we could row out, assuming the monster isn't there. But
Did we?
You
did
got
we
that
drag
train
that
of
boat with us?
He's talking about the small rowboat from the halfling ship that you took.
Yeah, that's how we
Oh,
got to
okay.
shore.
Get to
That's
the
right.
beach
That's
here.
right.
So we got to trek over land first, though, and we got to avoid any more of those shitty tail-throwing spike creatures.
Mm.
or the rock elemental things.
Honestly, I think at this point, because we don't need to get to our destination, we should be able to run from them if we could. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
rather than stand and fight, I think we should fight, but in a retreating, like, dodge. Take dodge, move, get to cover, attack them so that they fly away and, fuck off, and basically try
we
and
want
move
to
away.
tactically withdraw while providing covering fire for everybody.
Our objective is to get to the beach. That's our objective.
I
Yes,
think Adriel could outrun them.
we
Do
should we should find our way to the coastline and follow that. That seems to be the cleverest path with the fewest climbing over rocks. And if
I
there is-
mean, that might be, but what if that's also the path that the predators like to hunt on?
then we run.
All right. Or
Then
run
we-
on a beach.
Then we run. It's better to do that than run over rocks and risk tripping and falling.
I think you trip on the sand just as
So
much.
you sailed actually around the island and got a
Yeah.
look at the coastline.
Right.
Yeah.
You found 5 beaches.
And then it's all just sheer rock or
Yeah,
something.
everything else is steep,
No.
jagged cliffs.
That plan won't work so well, unfortunately, but it was a good thought.
Well, let's go ahead and make our way to the coast. Either way, we've got to get there somewhere.
Yep. All right. I think we should just make our way as fast. Like, let's move at a fast pace. Trying to be cautious, but I feel speed over stealth.
Oh,
as
I
the way to
agree.
go.
Yeah, let's just get there as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Yep.
So you travel through the rugged mountainous terrain. You're going at a fast pace, with speed being your priority, and seeking out this southeasterly beach where you had come ashore.
Yep.
Does anyone in the party have a skill, spell, item, or whatever kind of thing or tactic you want to use to aid this travel?
I mean, for myself, acrobatics, I guess, since it's a rocky terrain, trying not to trip over himself, but I can't like navigate.
I don't know if acrobatics is immediately necessary.
Yeah.
He's looking more for a
Being
group.
that you can specifically walk in.
I
areas
have
that aren't
mirthful leaps, which will help nothing. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a way of navigating. I mean, I could help with navigation, but like I'm not proficient in it or anything. It would just be a flat D20 roll. I assume Aygir.
I can roll survival checks. If that's what it comes down to, yeah.
Yeah, I think why don't you do that, and let's just try and get off this damn island
Okay.
already.
Yeah, Aygir, if you'd like to try to aid things using survival, go for it.
Okay.
Don't forget your inspiration, I think.
If I need it.
Did we all get inspiration?
I think we all
did.
got
We
inspiration.
did.
Yeah.
That is true.
I know we all did. Yes.
Yeah. It was a good last session.
I shouldn't need it yet. I rolled a 19. 16 plus 3, yeah. I can do math.
19.
Yeah.
19 is a pretty good roll. And this basically represents you keeping your party on the right course to reach your destination. As much as it looks easy on the map, when you are the one who's actually there, it's not always so easy to pick out the right path to go. You also try to avoid natural hazards, as they can be aplenty in such rugged and mountainous terrain. There are also the local wildlife and potential inhabitants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my roll. It's going to be a single roll, considering you try to fast pace. Though the roll I'm going to I'll mitigate it a little bit, considering that you did so well with your survival. So give me a moment here for that. Okay, so normally it would have been a random encounter, just barely, and the mitigation, I was going to take that into just barely not an encounter. So I'm going to say this. You all are making your way through the mountainous terrain, and then there is a moment where Aygir, you spot some telltale signs of these winged creatures that are called worm drakes. They're not truly drakes, but they get called that because there's a vague resemblance, especially when you see them at a distance. And you usher your party, like, I know that seemed like the way to go, but we're gonna have to take a
Detour.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
It's a
detour.
caveat. A detour. We're gonna have to take a detour here, and it's maybe slow us down a little bit. But there's a part where you spot 3 of the things, circling about, looking to predate upon whatever they can.
Go. We're not going that way. We're taking a caveat over here. Why are you looking at me so funny?
Don't you mean a detour, Aygir?
Semantics. We go this way.
But
You understand that, right?
You avoid the 3 creatures. You avoid getting in their area of notice. You avoid even having to roll stealth. You safely don't even come up against the encounter in any mentionable proximity. So well done. And you all, while the sun is still in the sky, it's into like the afternoon, you hear the sound of the ocean waves, and you see, like down this final bit, there are those cliffs and then the beach beyond. And you make your way to the cliffs, and you have your ropes and your climbing gear, and you get down. They're not very high cliffs. It's 30 feet or something. And you get yourselves down, and you're on the sand, and you pass to where you had left and covered up a bit the rowboat, and you see out there, still anchored, is Soonest, where hopefully Maxwell Fruck and his crew are patiently awaiting you all with no further ills having befallen them.
Now, just out of curiosity, that whole thing wasn't worth a milestone, or like half a milestone, was it?
Well,
there's a risk of an encounter.
I'm going to say that the successful quest that you all have just completed is worth a milestone.
Ooh.
So
I'll take it.
Yeah, this will end with you all.
Oh, we get another milestone?
Rowing your rowboat back to the sailing ship Soonest.
If you say one, you mean 1.5, right?
Wait, so do we get another milestone though?
Yes.
Yeah.
One more milestone.
Oh yeah.
I propose a short break. I'm gonna use the restroom and grab a water.
Would it be all right if I start preparing my 5th level plans?
You all are welcome to banter or guest DM. Just don't do anything weird. I'll be back.
Don't do anything weird. Hey guys, I have a perfect idea.
Well, we are going to have some time, I guess, on the boat. Oh man, level 5. I hadn't even planned to hit. Because
no, we're just like rowing on the boat. We're like halfway to the ship, and just this giant light beams down onto Walykos. It's like, oh, Walykos, what is going on? Are you okay?
Well, I am, because level 5 Paragon. Let's see what that actually does.
I'm 3.5 away from level 5 Rogue, which gives me evasion, which I really want.
Oh, do you? You want evasion? You want evasion? You think you want evasion?
Oh yeah, I do. Because then I just take half damage or no damage when I succeed dex saves, which is nice. It's quite useful.
If Adriel ever dies or retires, just to have it on record in a public forum, would you agree to having your character's race and class picked out for you by the rest of the group?
I'm definitely. I already know. I think I already know what I'd play next. Actually, it probably would. It's definitely not going to be like a rogue or a fighter.
This would be us forcing you to not play like immaculately clean shaven pretty boy rogue or bard or like rogue sorcerer multi-class or.
Hey, I'm perfectly okay with playing an elf or a half elf as well. Like, I mean, that's.
I feel like. Yeah, this should happen, at least for one character. Yeah,
you're getting a half orc dragonborn.
I did play. For the record, I did play a dragonborn barbarian in our one shot. So
and a one shot.
You're getting a dwarf.
Okay, so if this happens though, fair's fair. We get to pick your next character.
Oh, absolutely. I'm unironically a huge fan of like completely randomly rolling characters or stuff where like the options are not in my control because it's just like, oh, hey, now I have something I would never normally play. Now I get to figure out how to play it and create a character that's organic.
I don't know, like for me it's always been weird because it's like I don't know, I've never really felt attached to like most of the other races. Like the only other one that I've really liked is I do like Dragonborns and I do like I like Tieflings. I've never played a Tiefling before, but like that kind of like of a like devil kind of character has always kind of fascinated me. But I don't know, I've always liked humans and half elves and elves. I know it's very just cliche, but
humans are fun.
Yeah, because like you can be anything you want with a human, which is always cool.
But you can also be anything you want with any other ones.
That's true. That's a fair one. I don't know. I've just never like for example, like my least favorite race is probably a dwarf.
Well, that's because you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong.
But is it though?
Acknowledge you're wrong, like factually incorrect.
It's funny. Most of my the group that I DM for as well, like they all like almost always play humans as well. Like, I think in my group, my friend group right now that I'm DMing for, I think 3 of them are humans. No, 4 of them are humans. One of them's a what's the robot one?
There is no robot one.
Warforged. One of them's a Warforged, and one of them is an orc, or technically half orc. But
Warforged are not robots. Warforged are the mannequins in Skyrim when they glitch and come to life. Fight me.
Well, I'm pretty sure in Eberron on the cover they look like a robot.
Well, that's the artist's problem.
Yeah, well, I think Warforged are cool because you can kind of play them however you want, right? Like they could be like stone, they could be brass, they could be actual like steampunk, they could be like a lot of different things, which is really cool, I think. Warforged is another one that's very interesting.
One of these days, I'm gonna play my Warforged wizard that has an unknown to himself backstory of who his creator is and has to find that out.
His creator was himself.
It could be that he's like a wizard who was dying, so he transferred his soul into.
Oh, it could be like yeah. Have you seen the show Invincible on Amazon?
Yeah. I haven't, but I did think you were going to say Full Metal Alchemist, and yes.
Oh, that could be another one as well. Yeah. In Invincible, one of the this isn't really a spoiler. Two of the characters. They're like villains, right? And they're twins, but like they're clones of each other, but they don't know who the clone is. So it's like they always are arguing like you're the clone. It's like no, you're the clone. It's pretty great. You guys should go watch.
I've seen that Twins. Yeah, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. Yeah,
not that.
Not that one, but no, Invincible's a really good show. I've enjoyed. It actually makes me want to read the comics, because it's based off of the comics. So I kind of want to.
I've read some of the comics. I highly recommend. If you like the show, you'll love the comics.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I have to check it out. Yeah, the show kind of blew me away. Like when I started watching it, I was just like, wow, this is actually really good.
Just be aware that they changed the timeline a little bit. Like the events kind of happen, but they're more spread out in the comics and things like that.
That makes sense. Usually that's how it is. Yeah.
Like the reveal that happens in episode 1, no spoilers, doesn't happen for 13, 13 comics or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Usually, stories are a bit more slower, and then the movies or the shows have to kind of consolidate it all, right? So.
But there's definitely some things which are the same. Some things they added specifically for the show.
Makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I know the show's not exactly accurate as far as I'm aware. So, but
anyways, I'm picking out my last thing here.
Nice.
Oh man, 5th level. This is where it gets good.
So he told us to guest DM. So as a streaming DM, speaking of comics, it sounds like comics is comments. So let's go to the comments and everybody say what your favorite of Esper's narrated adventures is, or all of his videos, and why it's Island of Horns, and say how many copies of his book you're going to buy, and who your least favorite MIRRORMOURN character is, and why is Adriel.
Don't do that, but we'll read your comments if they're interesting.
You know what's funny? I did have a fighter in this campaign, and then he died.
This is
like,
true.
what?
Yeah.
It was an Asimir, which I guess is kind of still a pretty boy, but it was different,
it is.
kind of.
No, Nick, you fall into this category of usually making pretty boys.
I completely acknowledge that for sure. I definitely like the anime style stuff. So
we should at some point, if we ever run some one shot that's streamed, each go one to the left or something like that, and have that person for the other person mechanically make a character, and then just leave the T-biff blank and the name and stuff, just as an exercise in coming up with how you're going to roleplay that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can make play a dwarf.
Nick's gonna play a lizard folk.
He's gonna play a dwarf.
I will say this. I have played a lot of different races when I DM. I have lots of different races that I play. I had a lizard folk one time that I played, and he became an NPC that the party really liked. So
character sheet's gonna be like a mountain dwarf paladin or something like that, and all the traits and stuff is going to be blank, but it will say down in the notes, looks like cousin It. Is not known whether or not he is clothed or naked under all the hair. He's just hair.
That's fine.
You all are back aboard Soonest,
Yep.
the sailing ship that is captained by Maxwell Fruck, a plucky treasure hunter and adventurer who also happens to owe a great deal of debt. And one of the first things he says to you all after you all,
We could
haul
sell
back
him the
aboard
Maul.
ship is, so how did it go? What kind of haul did you come out with?
Aygir, we might have someone that we could sell the Maul to right now.
Assuming he's good for it, I thought he's in a lot of debt.
Or he could at least put us in touch with someone, and
I'm right here in front of you. Why are you talking about me like that?
Well, because we kind of want to sell this mall, and it might be to you, but you seem to
Are
be
you going a
lacking
bit
in
mad
funds.
after spending time on Black Rock Isle? They say
Sure. Let's go with that. Are you currently liquid at the moment, or you're not terribly flush with cash?
Hey, I mean, I have my resources. Well, why are you asking?
Well,
we
if
may have
you're
found
buying,
something.
we may have found a thing or two.
which you
Like
could probably
actually a thing or two.
you could probably get a good price for it if you know the right people.
I'll take a look at whatever you have. Should we be looking at this in my cabin?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Now,
Also, we
should
can
we-
leave the island. We're good to set sail.
Good.
Yes.
It's been everything fine since you all went aboard. No further attacks. The worst we've had to deal with is Shaggy getting the itch. He gets the itch sometimes.
Yeah.
And you do see Shaggy. Once again, he's like the hairiest bugbear you've ever seen in the world. He's just like this, like long-haired.
He's like a giant version of Cousin It.
And you pass by him, and he is actually he looks very agitated and uncomfortable, and he keeps like scratching himself. He needs to go for a swim, but I've been forbidding anyone from swimming out in these waters after, the attack.
Oh yeah, I took care of that thing. I sent it to the other side of the island.
That's good to know, but I don't know
Yeah.
what else might be here.
Let's
When we-
get out of
when we
here.
set sail.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to put this island to our tail.
I
So
agree.
he barks out some orders, and the halfling crew begins with the preparations, and then he leads you all into his cabin. It's not a large cabin because it's not a large ship, and he's not a large person. In fact, they're all halflings aboard the ship, except for Shaggy, this one super bulky, hairy bugbear fellow who he seems to do well just kind of keeping to wherever aboard the ship. So there's Maxwell, and there's Lighted Dre, and there's the scout who goes by the nickname of Troublefield. And you all are meeting here in Maxwell's cabin to discuss your loot. And he leans back in his chair, his cushioned chair. All right, well, let's see what it is. Well, what did we come through all the trouble to come out here for?
Go ahead.
Aygir
Sean.
will produce the small bag and undo the drawstring, and from out of it, we'll heft the maul and lay it down on the table. This thing that's probably like half and again as tall as the halfling. And the scroll of invisibility, or are we just gonna hold on to that? Okay.
Well, we could show him it. I mean, like,
I mean,
we don't
it's
have
on
to.
your spell list and vapor spell list, so
Sure. We'll show them
Bag of holding.
that as well. Yeah.
Is this something that you designed yourself?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
He eyes the
It's,
rather cultural Fearbulg, specifically bracelets and bead bangles.
That's a snazzy name for it, bag of holding. I was just going to call it the bag. My bag.
it's a
Ouch.
bag with a magical space inside it.
Yes.
It holds things.
Yeah. Would you say
It
the bag
does.
is heavier than how it looks and can hold
Bigger on the
more than
inside.
meets the eye?
It was holding this, so what do you say? What do you think it's worth?
Yeah, I've seen bags of holding before. That's a good thing to have.
I'm sure it is, but what about what was in it? What do you think we might be able to ask for this?
Yeah, that's a magic maul, apparently.
It hits harder. And better.
Heavier than I would care to use, but if there's magic to it, it will have some sort of value. Lyda, what do you make of this? She runs her hands over it. She produces a small pearl. She performs it's a ritual, right, for identification.
Yep, 10 minutes, and she's good.
So while she's studying that, Maxwell offers you all some refreshment. Do you need some food, water?
That would be fantastic. Yes, to all of that.
All right. So you all eat some food. You know, he brings up some hard bread and some smoked fish and some dried fruits, and you all get some cups of fresh water. And he produces a nice long clay pipe, packs in this like big bowl with agape, takes the draw off, passes it around.
We're getting the fancy treatment if he's feeding us not just like burgoo or loblolly or whatever you want to call, like, you know, even blander cream of wheat.
The hammer does indeed have magic to it. It has been enhanced, I can only presume, by giant magic. A heavy thing, capable. There's nothing more to it. It would seem that, as best I can tell, they were priming this to be something even greater. Only the first stage of the forging of it was completed, but no further enchanting was done. She looks at Maxwell and she says she might offer them maybe 150 gold pieces worth. Look, I can pay you 50 now. I can pay you an additional 100 gold to the flotilla. What do you say to that?
Well, respectfully, I am afraid that well, you know, somebody else may be a bit more forthcoming with an offer that is a number which is larger than that.
But that being said,
you don't have to string it out. Look, I know how to do this. I can pay you 50 now, and I can pay you 150 at the flotilla.
Well, it's not mincing words.
Total.
Not mincing words. Then
you won't take up space in your nice bag there with this big heavy chunk of iron.
I mean,
it'll fit. Not mincing words. Hammer, no, but scroll, maybe. What about the scroll?
It's a very useful magic to have a scroll of.
It is. It will make you invisible.
Or someone else.
Sure. Lyda? Yes, it's fine. It's still primed and ready to use. Nothing has deteriorated. The magic's still intact. I offer you 100. I can pay 50 of it now, the other 50 of the flotilla.
For the scroll, that seems fair, in my opinion. But I'm not negotiating here.
I would say 125. We did almost have a few casualties up there. Took us a lot to get this.
That it did. You know, Walykos up there, he died. I mean, he got better, but he died.
Which, speaking of, I feel like I should still have like a big scar, even if I die, survive that. Because coming back to life is...
You look terrible, but you don't look like a zombie.
How did they kill you exactly?
So it was the Crab Knight. No, it was the Shadow guy. Wait.
So the Crab Knight brought him down with a sword stroke, and then the Ragged Man strangled him with some kind of like animated...
Can I have like a sort of like a hangman's noose?
Yeah, you probably got some nasty, angry bruise across your neck.
And it's like almost like a scar mark all around the neck where he choked the life out of me. I lean up, and they can kind of see my weird looking, because of my mask and all.
Yeah. So Adriel
his head nearly came off. They squeezed it so tight it almost popped like the cork out of a bottle of
Yeah.
very, very effervescent, sparkling, whatever.
I
that stuff is called.
think what my comrade here is trying to say is that we went through a lot of trials and tribulations on this island, and we came back with some magic things or magic items. And
So if these are the things that you're wanting to sell, and Walykos got himself killed and zombified or whatever you are now, what are you keeping that was worth all that trouble?
I'll actually kind of point, like, gesture down to my belt and say, well, I'm keeping this right here. It's a belt of +2 strength. Well, whatever that would be called in the game.
I think we
I would
called it
just-
a belt of giant strength as well.
Yeah, I would describe it to
Belt
him.
of
Yeah.
Xena's persistence.
Yeah. But yeah, I would describe it and say, yes, this is one that we are keeping, but we could also keep the
A magic
scroll.
giant's belt. I don't know. Was it worth all the trouble?
That was not why we went there. But these items are prizes of the I guess, spoils of war, as it were.
That they
Indeed,
are.
and we definitely could use that scroll of invisibility as well. That's why, but we are happy to sell it to you for 125 gold.
So that just begs the question: what war are you getting tangled in and tangling me in by association?
Didn't we cover this when you agreed to take us here? I thought this
Hey, I
was
know
all
you were
settled.
trying to stop your rivals, but I didn't hear anything about a war.
Not a war. That was a spoils of war is a idiom. It's what we, it's just a turn of phrase to say that we got treasure in the course of our objective.
Yeah, there's no actual war happening. These are just the gems of our trials.
What about our deal here?
Yes.
I've made you an offer for both the scroll and the hammer.
Well, it's like I said, hammer, no, but scroll, 125, like my friend here says.
And that being said, there was talk about possibly chartering you and paying you money so that you could pay off your debt in exchange for services rendered. Past this, I believe we had already negotiated. I gave you my magical item earlier, the necklace for this particular voyage.
Yes, I think it's in both of our interests to work to some kind of understanding here.
So how much are you thinking that you can get for that hammer?
I'm not sure, but
You wanna
more than
try that?
150.
Is there a
It's
check?
not every day that you're going to find someone who, even though it is magic, is capable of wielding a giant's hammer.
It's not every day that you're going to find one who is familiar with giant magic either. And, you yourself certainly are not capable of...
Well, if I may, I believe that Lyda, yes, she brought up an interesting
Yes.
point. This hammer was being prepared for greater magics, and it's not completed yet, which
Yes.
tells me that it's
See
prime.
this part emblazoned here?
Yeah.
This relates with, as best I can tell, the thunder from the crag. But it was not completed. There's no magic imbued into that.
What does it need to have, like a lightning bolt thunder imbued into it or something along those
I believe
lines?
something, or perhaps a stroke which can produce a great blast of thunder. Seems like
Vapor
the
might have
idea.
such a thing, a sort of a wave of thunder that might be able to imbue it.
And I am one who crafts things by my profession. So, if anybody is going to put it to a bit more use than just
Yeah,
a
I
couple of
think
coins,
I think what you're valuing it at, if I may, is for a mere magical weapon, which, while rare, may not necessarily be something that you couldn't find anywhere else. This has the potential to be a very valuable item that is not readily, found in some magic store, in a big city.
True, as you speak, but be that as it may, I think we might have some difficulty convincing the folk of the flotilla to see that value in it.
Well,
After
maybe we
all,
could increase its value on. Yeah,
A rare skill and a fair bit of trouble to go to complete whatever ritual was being done.
Well, maybe if we don't like the price, we'll complete it ourselves and sell it for a much higher value.
Yes, I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there looking for some magic items out.
Well, it sounds like at the moment,
Yeah.
the best
scroll.
course of action. The best course of action is that I take that scroll off of your hands. So why don't I get
50 now, 75 later.
Why don't I get the 50 gold pieces arranged for you now? We're gonna make a stop at the flotilla on the way back to Sandbeer. Whoa. Is there gonna be trouble again in Sandbeer?
That's a good question. Is there going to be trouble? Does anyone know that you are going to be there? Because you are the one
I
that
might need to
believe.
just stay with the flotilla for a time. But is there going to be trouble for you if you get ferried back to Sandbeer?
Not to our knowledge. The trouble was from those. Well, one of them did get away, I believe. So he's probably given our descriptions, at least my description. I don't know how much time he really had to see the rest of you while he was running.
Vapor's going to speak up. Are you not able to just take us back to Barnacle?
I don't know where the flotilla is heading next. I don't recall if they were going to be heading back to Barnacle. Actually, I think they were going to be heading westward. That said, you could probably find some sort of passage to Barnacle.
One ship will be going that way, at least. Yeah, that sounds quite reasonable. That would be the quickest way home. If you all recall out of game, the reason why we had to go to the city that we had to was because we had to find a ship that was leaving during the time frame that would take us to the island.
To Blackrock, yeah.
Yeah, like there's plenty of ships back in our home city that go in and out. They just wouldn't go to Blackrock Isle if we begged them to.
Right. Like if you think there's a chance that the flotilla we might find a good ship that's heading back towards Barnacle?
I would say it's almost a certainty.
Yeah, it's very likely that there could be ships from Barnacle visiting the flotilla while it's
right. And plus you'll be paying us for the scroll there, so we'll have cash on hand to, offer as a passage fee. So
yeah.
So it's settled.
Yeah. Well, that being said, how do we get in touch with you?
Relax and enjoy the sailing. Yeah. I, for one, am. I think I'm okay with visiting Accursed Isles for a little while.
How do we get in touch with you in the future, though, in case we have another offer?
Yep. Well, your surest bet is going to be asking around the flotilla.
Flotilla. Got it. So leave a message. Is there someone at the flotilla who you stay in touch with?
Sure. You can always ask around for me. There's a couple of individuals who would be good ones to speak to. He says he gives you a couple of names. He says one person that's good to speak to is Saggith.
Saggith. Let me write that down. Can you give me a little something about Saggith so I remember who that is?
He's got one of the oldest ships in the flotilla. It's currently outfitted to be a fume hovel. He's been a good friend of mine.
He's a captain?
No. I mean, he might fancy himself a captain of his own boat, but it's truly part of the flotilla. He's part of the. So what it is this collection of boats and ships that all sail together, and it usually goes pretty slow. Now they can separate into their component parts, of course. They can also anchor and lay down these
he's
planks.
More like an owner of a building or a piece of that flotilla.
He doesn't have such a grand ship as soon as to be called a captain. Nor do I think that he exactly quite has the chops for it. But owner, I think, would suffice.
Okay. And what's the name of his establishment or ship or whatever you call it?
Yeah, Pale Eel.
Pale Eel. All right.
He's been a friend of mine for a long time. He and I go way back.
Well, how about
I've bailed
this?
him out of a couple tight spots, and he's helped me before too. I always visit him when I'm around the flotilla. If you go, stop by, have a smoke, speak with him, tell him that you know me, and he can probably give you my whereabouts, as we usually keep up to date with one another.
Just
Other than that, I'm never gone from the flotilla for too long, if I can help it.
all right. Well, hopefully
All halflings tend to get homesick, you know.
yes, hopefully the bounty hunters aren't going to be hunting for you at the flotilla when we get there. So we'll see.
Well, let's hope not. But we of the flotilla tend to look out for one another pretty well.
Yeah. Well, if I was the bounty hunter, I would stay on the flotilla, not cause trouble, but I would track you when you left if I was them.
Well, that's a reality of the line of work that I'm in.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
no rest for the wicked, I guess.
If you think of something to settle your debt or have an idea that we can help with, you know that we're clearly capable. We survived Blackrock Isle and have these items to prove that we didn't just, sit on the beach for a couple days.
Yeah, all of you survived, and only one of you came back zombified.
I'm not a zombie. I am revivified. Anyways.
Well, I guess you do still have a... Wait, you're wearing the mask, right?
The mask, actually, yes, but I feel like it got cracked in the fight. So there's almost like there's like sort of like a crack that goes down one way and then like down the other way
Okay,
as
he was
well.
gonna say you still have like the color in your face, in your skin.
So now he's looking a little Phantom of the Opera-ish.
So
Yeah.
well, that's still to be seen and confirmed. Whereabouts in Barnacle do you usually dwell? Where could I find you all?
I was going to say, if you need to get a hold of us, probably the best thing to do is leave a message with Gintel's jar at the house.
Manteville.
Manteville.
Yep, Manteville.
House Manteville. Well, I didn't know that I was going to be hosting such high nobility. He looks at Walykos wearing a bird mask and these like weird horns and a scar in his neck throttled, and Adriel, this human
I with also a mask on.
and a troll blood.
We didn't say we were part of it. I just said to leave a
and
message there.
hobgoblin.
Yeah, I didn't say we were all a part of it. I just said leave a message there. They'll get the message to us.
All right, House Mantevale.
Yeah.
Gentle Jar. That name doesn't ring a bell, so
He's a dwarf. He's a man-at-arms for the house.
a man-at-arms. Oh, okay. Very well. So, it seems like we're going to be speaking again after we part ways, and, well, I, for one, feel pretty good about that. I think this has been a mutually beneficial endeavor, aside from a couple deaths along the way, yours being apparently not permanent.
I'm sorry for your lost crewmen. I know that there are always risks, but it still doesn't, make you feel better when you lose someone in the line of duty.
Well, we'll be spending time to mourn him when we get back.
Yeah. Let's rest. I for one am still completely exhausted after the ordeals on the island. I could probably use a couple days of rest, realistically, just to get back to my fighting shape.
Well, take your time, take things easy, and rest up. We should be reaching the flotilla in 2 days' time at the most.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else they want to say to Maxwell or Lida?
All right.
I'm good.
The winds are not favorable throughout this journey, and so there's a lot of like rocking and lilting and listing. Oh, maybe listing is a bit too severe, but it's rather unfavorable, stormy type weather.
Before you go too much further, I think
yeah.
that's perfect lead-in, for I did hit level 5.
Oh yes,
And I have some things that tie to the storm here.
Okay,
I think
yeah,
that'll
we have
work
a
out.
moment here. So set the scene, Walykos.
Okay. I feel like this happens while Walykos is asleep. At least starts while he's asleep. And he's suffered major injuries. He probably actually speaks with a hoarser throat, after being choked to death and having this horrible scar now. But he's down in his cabin and he's tossing and turning. And in his dream, he actually is back at Baal Vondor's prison, and he's being tortured, and being whatever ritual that Baal Vondor was doing to him is happening. So he's reliving the worst night of his life, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And if Esper, if you want to elaborate any details, you're welcome to. But yeah, he's just screaming in pain, and probably he's not screaming in real life, but he's certainly tossing and turning. And then he sees a mask.
It was your choice.
Yeah, he's just in so much agony and pain. But he sees behind Baal Vondor, just like floating in the darkness of the dream that he's in, there's a mask, and it looks like his mask that he was wearing with the cracks and everything. And it almost calls to him. It feels like if he could just reach that, he could escape this. It's his way out. And he reaches out, while still being beaten or tortured by the magic. And he reaches out and
racked by the cursing ritual.
And his fingers, he even sees them like twisting into claws, of this monster, Ogong or whatever, or what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he touches the mask, and it ripples down his arm, and he sees his hand turn back to the elf that he once was. And he looks down and he sees his body no longer chained in the same place, and he's free, and his body is that he used to have. And so he looks down at the mask, and he puts it on his face, and he looks up and he sees himself in a mirror, and he is himself once more. And I feel like he wakes up suddenly when that happens. And as he does so, he looks at himself, and he looks just like he used to, as the mask, or the master of the mask, has kind of completed its transformation. And he's kind of like shocked, and I feel like he's going to stumble up on deck because I'm not done quite yet. There's another wonder that I discovered. So I'm kind of like rocking. I stumble back onto the deck, and there's a storm going. There's probably rain coming down, and I just kind of look out because I'm feeling like there's something out there that's also calling to me, some destiny Paragon thing. And in the storm, there's lightning lighting up the clouds and whatnot. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Oh yeah.
But he almost feels it. It's like a whisper in his mind, call to me, like reach out, and I will hear you. And he acts like he can talk to the storm in his head. He's like, strike, he tells the storm, strike down here right beside me, and the lightning bolt forms and hits not the deck, but the water right beside the boat. For a second, a brief flash of lightning. He's like, was that an accident? And he tries again, and it happens again. Like thematically, like he does it enough that he realizes that he can control the storm and call down lightning. So, but if you want to flavor that up,
I imagine that you see a creature in the storm. It's vague because it's concealed by the cloud cover and the gloom of night, but when the lightning strikes, you can see it there. This vague jellyfish-like floating form up there in the clouds
Storm God.
sends down this bolt. So there is some entity up there that has taken notice of you,
So
and
the
it
fifth
seems to
level
be
Paragon
corresponding with you.
is now a master of masks who can use a bolt of the storm god.
Yes, but it seems like you've swapped a wonder. Is that
I did.
here? Okay.
I swapped Cat's Claw for the Master of Mask.
You swapped Cat's Claw. Oh, I am surprised.
So
or you just got the wonder fever and you want to try a lot of them out.
partially that, but honestly, Cat's Claw, while it is decent, it's not. I feel like the Master of Masks is worth replacing it with for what I can do with the Master of Masks.
More fitting for Walykos.
I get a little bit of damage from Master of Masks, so that's gives me a little extra damage. It's renewable; I can reuse it infinitely, and the utility of Disguise Self is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you want to say what the mechanical benefits are of these wonders, or do you want to save that and let them be shown through?
I'll do the mechanical benefit of just the Master of Masks. Since I've used it, I'll save Bolt of the Storm God for combat.
Okay, well, we've gotten a thematic view of what Bolt of the Storm God is, but we'll see more about that when you actually employ it.
The Master of Masks essentially is at will disguise self. It's kind of like the Warlock Invocation in that sense, but it does one other thing. It the first time after you've used it to change into a particular form, you can deal 1d6 extra damage to the first attack you make.
Yeah, after you cast Disguise Self, your next melee weapon attack has advantage and deals an extra 1d6 on a hit.
Not advantage. No, I don't think so.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, because the mask it conceals your attack. They don't see what happened to your weapon, or maybe it doesn't even look like a weapon. Maybe it just looks like, just part of your cloak, like a little.
So it's like Loki from Marvel, where he materializes his dagger in his hand and stabs.
Yeah, the idea is that it says in the wonder, you can use mystical subterfuge to mask your appearance and your attacks. So they probably don't realize where your attack is coming from until it actually strikes, and then they see it.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, you materialize it out of midair where they don't see it. So yeah, I like it. I can work with that.
All right. So yes, I do think this is very thematically fitting for Walykos.
I didn't realize that was advantage. That's even better. Taking an action to give myself advantage on my next attack. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Excellent. So I know a couple of you, Aygir and maybe Vapor, are getting close to 5th level. So we'll be seeing some cool things with you all as well. But there is something else, Walykos.
Yes.
There's something else Paragon gets at 5th level. That's very
extra
important.
attack.
Yeah, you have extra attack now.
And a +3
proficiency bonus. Yeah. So
I gotta redo my skills.
You are really at the next tier of play now, with your allies close behind.
Yep. Oh, they'll be here soon enough, I'm sure.
Did you roll your hit die to increase your maximum hit?
I did not. I was saving that for once I had a chance. Let's do that right now. All right, come on, don't screw me down. Heck yeah, that's an 8. So
the vigor of the storm jelly god flows through you, and you breathe in the storm winds and feel great vivacity coursing through your veins.
All right, now I won't die from a single crossbow bolt sneak attack to the back. Critical crossbow sneak attack.
Well, no promises, but you have a better chance of surviving it.
I do.
All right, so does anyone else have an interest while you're on this like 2-day passage through stormy weather to the flotilla?
I think most of Aygir's business is actually in the flotilla itself.
Okay, very well. Let's skip to that. So by this point, you've all taken 2 long rests. So
I'm rolling hit dice just to see how many I have to spend.
yeah, you're probably all full on hit points, but maybe missing still some hit dice.
I had to use 3 hit dice out of the
Wait,
4.
did we get a long rest?
You've completed 2 long rests on the way to the flotilla.
Yay! I have all my hit dice back and full health.
Okay.
Woohoo.
As do I, because I had cast a spell to
Oh,
heal.
that's
I
right.
have-
You have the 3 spell slots.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
could you just cast Cure Wounds and then I wouldn't have to use all my hit dice?
Yes.
Okay.
How many times do you need it?
I was only down 10 hit points.
In 2 days, I can in theory cast it 6 times. So let's. All right, let's do.
I'm not even gonna bother spending hit points then, or hit dice. That way we can have them.
Right, one
Yeah,
cast
Fine,
heals 8.
that's certainly good enough.
Second cast got your full. Yeah.
Cool.
Two
All right.
casts in 2 days. So
Yeah, no.
So by the time you get to the flotilla,
Well, we should have a quick moment of because I look like my old self. If anyone notices,
right.
now,
because
have you removed the bird mask and
Well,
your actual face looks like
it
yourself?
would change my bird mask to look like myself, even if I'm still wearing it. You know,
Okay.
I feel like I keep it on because it's kind of my focus.
But does your appearance look as though you're not wearing the bird mask?
Yeah, I mean, if that's how I wanted to, do it, because it's all just an illusion.
Okay, so you look like Walykos the elf.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elven Walykos walks up. Maybe your gait is still the same.
Oh yeah. No, I haven't changed at all. If someone reaches out, they're gonna feel me
Yeah.
in my weird, shape.
Uh-huh.
But I probably want to just let Adriel
I
know.
think really Adriel is the one who would be most taken aback because he knows you. Aygir and Vapor usually see you with a mask on.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I want to go to Adriel specifically, and then I'll probably transform back. But I want to have a little scene almost with Adriel to deal with this.
All right, so the boat is rocking. The storm winds are howling. The storm seems to just be getting worse. It's brewed and unleashed time and again. But there you are, the 2 of you.
Adriel, wake up.
Oh, well, yes, Walykos. What do you need?
Adriel, something's happened. Magic has changed again within me. I'm able to make myself look different.
Oh, that's fantastic. That'd be a big help. It seems like, and Adriel sort of like,
me. Yeah, Adriel, look at me. I look like myself.
oh,
Adriel, you see
Oh,
through the
Walykos.
lamplight in the cabin, and you see Walykos as you remember him from years ago.
yeah, and like Adriel will actually like now that he like notices it and everything, he'll like get up and he'll actually like put his hand on like Walykos's face and like put his other one and be like, "How did you?"
It probably stops before you touch
you
his face
feel
because
the
Yeah, and he'll be like, How did you do this, Walykos?"
my mask, it's like it's a magic mask now. It can make me change my appearance through magic, just like the illusions that I summoned up when I blew in my pipe, but this one affects me.
I see. Well, this is good news, Walykos. I'm glad that you.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Watch this. And I turn in to look like Adriel. Like I'm Adriel, and I'll even like perform with my voice, because I'm good at like acting. I'll be like, Adriel, hang on. Say something real quick. I have to get your tone down.
Say something really quick.
Say something real quick.
Yeah, I'll sort of like be able to take it back and say, if I didn't hang around you a lot, I'd say keep that one. It looks a lot better than you. That's kind of a joke.
I don't know about that. I feel like this form would be rather awkward for Aygir.
I think it'd be quite hilarious, actually. I think he'd get a kick out of it.
Well, maybe we should perform this at breakfast or something. We could first you walk up to him, and then I walk up from the other side, and we'll see how he likes it.
I think that would be a fantastic idea, Walykos. Yes, but anyways,
Splendid idea.
But
Yes.
anyways, I'm glad that you've been able to find a way of at least mimicking your old self.
I think it'll help us in a lot of ways. We were getting some questions back when we were in, traveling. At Barnacle, we kept to ourselves mostly, but people notice, and I transform back into my regular self, this form. But this seems to last a good while, and I can do it at will, apparently. So long as I can stay conscious for the whole time, it doesn't seem to take my concentration either.
Oh, that's very good to know. That could be quite useful in future endeavors as well.
Yes. Also, watch this. I hold up my hands, and then I make like a movement, and like a dagger appears, and it's like right next to your face. I'm like, you didn't see that coming. I can use it to conceal my weapons for a short time. As soon as I make, it's like an invisible spell where it becomes visible after I attack.
Yeah,
but only on my weapon.
Yeah, I'll sort of like look over and like sort of tap the blade to check if it's real.
Oh, it's real.
Yeah, and be like, "My Walykos, you've learned a lot since we were at what's it called again? Black Rock Isle. Yeah, since we were at Black Rock Isle, it seems that your near-death experience has paid off."
Truth be told, I feel like that may have had something to do with it. It almost felt like it unlocked something in me, something that was buried from back when the ritual was done to me, that Baal Vondor did.
I see.
I don't know if this was always his intention, if I couldn't remember it till now, or if this is something that I developed on my own. I have no idea. I'm not knowledgeable in the rituals that he'd used on me. Mm-hmm. Maybe if I could talk to Corgain, he might be able to know more.
Yes, Corgain may be able to help with this. It seems like he knows sometimes more things about you than you do about yourself.
Yes, that certainly seems to be the case. Wow.
Well, this is good news, Walykos, and I'm sure it will become very useful in the future as well, with the kind of work that we seem to get ourselves into.
There's one more thing I'll tell you about, but just keep it close until we need it. I seem to be able to call down lightning from some jellyfish god that lives in the storms.
Lightning.
Yes.
You're some sort of. You're taking some lessons from Vapor.
Well, not exactly. The lightning comes from the god, but I seem to be able to ask it to benefit me, and it seems to listen. It's almost like we have a connection. A bond psychically, almost.
I see.
I don't know if that's because I'm transforming to become whatever I am, or if I always had this ability. Maybe it's latent magic.
Well, let's keep an eye on it. From my experience in reading, sometimes things that come out of nowhere, they may seem like a gift at first, but turn out to be an enemy.
Yes, well, we'll
magic can be very useful, but we must be careful with it. It can sometimes cause adverse effects that we may not expect.
This is why I'm telling you, because you are the person who I trust to take care of me if I should fall and need someone to know what's going on with me if something happens unexpectedly.
And you're the same way for me as well. You're my most trusted ally. I've gained some fondness for Aygir and Vapor. They seem capable, but
I really appreciate Aygir saving my life. Yeah.
Yes, Aygir has proven most useful in recent endeavors, and I need to take some time to thank him for that. Actually, unfortunately I could not have done what he did for you.
Well, we're going to be stuck on a ship from the flotilla back home for a while. You can think on that. Maybe you'll come up with something. maybe we shouldn't play this prank on him. Now that I think about it, it would be fun, but it might be a step backwards.
I think you're right. Yeah, let's keep it to ourselves for now.
Maybe we could save it for another time once we've hit that threshold, perhaps. But I don't want him to take it as us making fun of him.
Agreed. Yes.
All right.
Well, as for your magic, though, I do
keep it
appreciate you.
secret.
Yeah, I do appreciate you coming forward with it. Although you do want to keep it secret, perhaps you could discuss with what was that? What's the female halfling's name?
Lila. Yeah.
Lila. Perhaps you could discuss it with Lila. She seems fairly.
She does know some things. Yes.
She may be able to help you with this. I would say Vapor, but if you're not telling Vapor or Aygir right now, I can tell.
It's not that I don't. I'm fine with telling them. I just don't see the reason to overload them with knowledge that doesn't do them anything at the moment.
Yes, that's understandable. But Lila may be able to assist you in this, perhaps.
That's not a bad idea. I think I might.
I'll
do it tomorrow night. This is the first night.
Yeah. Yes. When we get back to the Mantervale home, I'll try and find some books or literature on this and see if I can help find some information as well.
Well, hopefully Corgain shows up. He knows how to find us once we're back in Barnacle, and if he has as much information as he seemed, he should know that we succeeded, or have some notion that they at least failed, within a certain period of time.
Indeed. Well, for now, I suppose. So are we back at the flotilla, by the way?
No, this is the first night.
The first night. Okay, yeah, I'll say. Yeah. Well, now that I'm up and I'll sort of get up, kind of like wipe myself off a bit, I guess I'll get some fresh air.
Okay. Well, it's storming up on deck, so don't go overboard.
You caused this?
No, I didn't cause this. I told you it's a jellyfish that lives in the sky. A flying spaghetti monster did it. Okay.
I've heard of this flying spaghetti monster before. Yes. Somewhere in my books that I've read.
It has many
Pastafarian, I believe is what they call it.
Pastafarian, yes.
Whatever it is, it's pasta something.
Is it not Pastafarian?
Pastafarian, yeah. Well, hopefully the storm does. What is it? Secede? Yeah, secede. I guess I'll stay down here for now then.
Very well. Yeah, I think that's probably wise. I'm just gonna sit down here and maybe play with it a bit. Like, honestly, you just discover you have an at-will magic. The first thing you're gonna do,
you're just like, ha ha, yeah.
It's like, now I'm Vapor, now I'm Aygir, now I'm Esper. Wait, who the hell's Esper? All right.
It's like the genie. It's just like, ha 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 ha. Wait a second. Wait, that person doesn't exist.
Yep. Yeah.
There are only two rules.
Sorry to take time for that.
Fall in love, and you can't bring people back from the dead.
Trust me, I've seen it before. It's not a pretty sight.
All right, so I just want them to lust after me, and I want to create a clone that is exactly like the original, but is not actually brought back.
Yeah, that's close enough, really.
Yeah.
To the flotilla?
To the flotilla.
Okay. When you arrive at the flotilla, the storm has developed into a violent tempest.
Wow.
And it's looking really bad. And they're anchoring down all the ships. Jeez. And they've removed the connector planks because they don't want stuff getting ripped and broken. And
so they're letting it kind of move with the storm to avoid it, soaking full damage.
Yeah. So it's moving about is very precarious at the moment, and the waves are just making the ships list over and again, and there's gale winds that are blasting everything. Jeez. And yeah, here and there you do catch glimpses of this giant multi-tendril jellyfish type thing swirling around up there, and bolts of lightning rippling throughout the thunderhead. And if you go up on deck, it's so loud from the storm that you have to shout to be able to hear people. And rain is pouring down and beating down, and it's pretty cold too. It definitely chills you, substantially chills you. It's not freezing temperatures, but it's quite unpleasant, and hypothetically one could get hypothermia from it if you were left out exposed for too long. So while the storm is beating down, I still want to give you all an open chance to do something. If not, then I'm going to move it to the next roll or the next scene or whatever. So you all tell me. Perhaps Aygir or Vapor has something?
Harness the storm, Vapor.
Yeah, Vapor would be kind of tempted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
See if he can somehow, with his innate air magic, manipulate the storm a bit.
It is a wild storm. So, if what you're telling me is you are wanting to take a risk here and expose yourself to the storm and try to draw something innate from it,
Could get something really cool.
Yeah, that's what.
You could also die.
Yeah, I know. The Vapor's of the mind of, I think my Troll Blood and this potion that Aygir gave me can power me through, or at least keep me alive if something goes wrong. But I might be able to gain something from this, and I would like to.
Reward.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
and Vapor would like to see if he can, even if he doesn't draw anything, maybe learn something from the storm.
It's a storm of the century. Go for it.
All right. So you're willing to take a risk, yes?
Yes.
All right. Where do you go? Do you go up on deck?
Yeah, he can go on deck.
Do you
He's
levitate up into the air?
Yeah, he would, because he knows the highest point's what's going to get struck.
What are you thinking, Vapor? Tie yourself to something before you get blown away.
Yeah,
Alright.
you're gonna go up and the ship's just gonna leave you, man.
Well, he's going to do this once they're at the flotilla.
All right. Yeah, you're at the
Even
flotilla.
so,
Yep, you're there. So
tie yourself to the
ships-
mast.
The ships are anchored. You go up on deck and you're shouldering against the blasting gale. The deck is tilting and lilting, and the crew members that are up there are finishing up their. I lack for the knowledge.
battering down the hatches.
Probably
They're locking down hatches, they're
securing
tying
up
down
the
stuff.
sails, and trying to do everything they can to keep the
They're
ship.
securing the deck.
They're securing the deck, and you hear their shouts back and forth. There'll be another one, yeah, one, and they're again.
It's not a time for just random people to be
holding
taking
against the
control.
bulwark to pull themselves across to the other side of the ship. You get up there and you just feel the power of the storm, and it's disorienting and it's uncomfortable, and this rain is just slapping you in the face nonstop. It's terrifying, but you feel the power of it, and so there's the terror and the majesty of it all together in the mix.
So Vapor would first, he wouldn't just float straight up, because he knows with now knowing how strong the winds are, he's going to take a little bit of securance. So he's going to climb the rigging at the rope riders up as high as he can.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's there, he will tie himself to something secure up there and then levitate the rest of the way.
So you're climbing up the rigging, and as you go up, you can start to see more the fullness of the flotilla. It's a bunch of ships, and the vision is not good at the moment just because it's so dim and cloudy and this heavy rain. But you can see, the vague shapes of lots of ships of different sizes, and some of them look like real piecemeal junky things, real scavenged, and others look to be more sleek and sturdy of form. As you're going up the rigging, there's a halfling crew member coming down, having finished up his duties, and he shouts at you, "What are you doing? You're going to get yourself killed!"
Vapor's just going to ignore him. He is too much focused on the storm to really care what the
He hand waves you, and he gets down and does his acrobatics check across the deck to get down below. It goes down the hatch. You get up to the very top of the mast, and you're holding at the limits of it, and you're swaying as the ship is listing back and forth, and the wind is just like howling in your face and blasting you, and the rain is pouring down like this constant shower of like 1,000 little hands slapping you nonstop.
Yeah, so at this point, Vapor would tie the rope to himself and to the mast, so the wind doesn't blow him too far off.
You take out your rope and you do what you can, and you tie it as best you can. And are you truly levitating, or are you just holding at the top?
Yeah,
of the
he's
mast?
going to truly levitate.
Okay, so you draw upon your innate magic, and you levitate up, and the wind is actually like blasting you back. It blows you back. So you're out to the extent of the rope, and you see some bolts of lightning, not in the immediate vicinity, but there at other limits of the storm system, and they fork and lick down through the sky into the ocean and send out these little ripples through the wave, instantaneously lighting up the air as they do this hot white that fades out into golds and teals and such. You're bearing yourself to the power of this storm, and it's quite violent. Tell me some more. What else do you do?
Vapor would be then, once he's up there, begin drawing on his innate magic to try to predict where the lightning's going to strike next, as if he's trying to summon down a bolt where he wants it to.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So I'm gonna have you roll 2 different skill checks.
Okay.
The first one actually has to do with your rope.
I figured.
Produced and tried to knot off while you're there, holding on the mast in the storm. Make a, I think sleight of hand is probably a good skill. I don't know. There might be some tool that could relate to it. I don't know if you have any tools. It'd be something specific.
He wouldn't have anything.
Okay, so do dexterity sleight of hand.
Natural 1.
The rope was not secured well enough, and you go flying off, and you are now in the clutches of the storm, and the winds are whipping all around you, and the rain is beating against you.
Just lean into it. You got to go with it.
You're quite cold.
Yeah.
You are now in the clutches of the maelstrom.
But this is the perfect place to learn and harness it, because you've given up control. Let the wild.
This is actually kind of great as we're pointing out, and I'm just going to roll with
trust in the force, Luke. Trust in the force.
Has a quick spike of the rope going, and then as he's going, he realizes, no, this is where I need to be. If I'm going to learn to control my magic that reacts like a storm like this, I need to be within the storm completely at its mercy.
All right. Well, it's easy to say that, but let's see if things get worse.
Yeah.
I mean, Esper, here's the thing. Say something epic, because if you succeed, you look cool. If you die, then it's no longer a problem.
Before we get to the next skill check, I want you to make a Constitution saving throw for concentration as you're being whipped about in a violent storm.
Okay, there's a nice roll, and that's going to come out to be a 19.
You are not knocked out of your concentration. So as much as you are in the clutches of the storm, you still have the control over your levitation, and you're still controlling your altitude. Do you want to stay where you're at? Do you want to go higher and try to make it your other skill check to harness the storm?
He's going to go higher at this point. Might as well go. He's going to go all the way.
So
he's going to do this.
Go up fully accepting the embrace of the tempest as it swirls all around you, and the wind is lashing you from it seems like from all around is how it feels. That's how you experience it. Okay, so the next skill check, I want it to be open, and you can tell me what you think fits for whatever it is that you are doing to harness the storm power.
I would most likely be an Arcana check would be my best guess for that.
Arcana? I would be willing to go so far as to let you do a Charisma Arcana, since that is your spellcasting ability.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, that would be great. So
did I say Wisdom or Charisma?
Charisma. I think. Yeah, you said Charisma would be.
Charisma. Okay, Sorcerer. Charisma.
You also said Charisma, so you're all good.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Give me a second. I need to move these out of the way. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, so I can add that.
And don't forget, you still have an inspiration.
Oh, that's right.
So if you ever want to spin that,
I'm going to spend that just see if I can get higher.
Now, okay.
No, that does not get me higher. So the other one was it. So 16.
16. Okay. You call out to the storm, communicating with it, or even maybe trying to command it, trying to channel it in some variety. And do you say anything specific, or you just shout?
He is going to start he's going to start speaking in primordial, because that's what his magic comes from, the primordial elements, because of his Genasi background.
Okay.
And he is trying to. He's both speaking in a way that he's commanding the storm to respond. He's trying to get the storm to respond to him in some form.
So you shout in the primordial tongue, calling to the storm, nigh demanding a response from the storm. And you catch a glimpse of the eye of the storm, this colossal, luminescent at times jellyfish entity, and one of its tendrils whips in your direction, and there's this like branch of lightning that reaches out in your direction, and a great crackle, a boom of thunder, but you hear it in primordial as bold. It seems to be speaking directly to you.
Calvantis is not amused.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Hearing the reply back. Okay, give me a second, because I gotta figure out how would Vapor actually respond to this, because his mindset and stuff.
Just imagine the balls drag on the ground.
Collect your thoughts, because I'm gonna have you make a third and final skill check.
Okay. Bold is what brings about change, and change what brings about growth. And I plan on growing from this storm, so I must be bold. And he's shouting that back in primordial.
All right. You shout that.
Yeah, literally. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be bold. He's pretty much double. He's not doing it, but it's kind of like giving the finger to the god, whatever is up here.
Okay.
But he's pretty much like going, yeah, I'm going to be doing this. You
brazenly shout this phrase out to the god whose attention you've grabbed and whose power you seem to be connecting with in some way. Well, that definitely sounds like charisma. I could see it being intimidation. Yeah, maybe persuasion. It really seems like intimidation. You can do either one of those.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't have proficiency in either of those.
Right. At least you got charisma.
Oh, fuck. That's a 6.
Can I toss my inspiration to him?
I'm going to say no, because you're not here present. It seems truly Vapor solo and alone.
I mean, the reason, if you want me to come up with a convincing reason, technically Walykos has a connection with the god as well. The god has noticed.
True. That is true.
I'll channel my fate my Paragon fate along the
That
line.
is true. You
to
did
the
connect
god.
with the Storm God. Okay.
And the Storm God
convinced me
connects
because
in
you
his
took the-
mind.
The Storm God wonder.
Yeah.
So you give your inspiration to Vapor.
And in the Storm God's mind, he's about to smite Vapor, and he's like, "Oh wait, this is Walykos' friend."
Okay,
he
very well.
So
So
I'll
give
roll
another
one
roll.
time.
This will count as advantage.
Okay, that's only a little bit better. That's only going to be an 11.
Maybe it's enough
Well,
to save
let's
you.
see exactly how well your boldness serves you.
The storm flings you into the water, and I'm going
At
to.
least you regenerate.
I'm going to grab a thing here. Oh,
Can
no.
I spend a reaction?
It does not fling you into the water. No, it flings you, but not in the water. It just whips you about in the air, and there is a thing. Okay. The air coalesces into a menacing entity that meets your challenge and your call and approaches you. Roll for initiative, Vapor.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That's going to be a 6.
6.
This is how you earn those milestones.
All right. It has a 20, so it will go first. Okay. The air entity approaches you and begins to form like a cyclone around you. Make a strength saving throw.
Okay. That's going to be a 10.
10 is not enough.
I figured.
Yep. So, following occurs, you sustain damage and you are flung. You sustain, that's a very low roll, 7 points of bludgeoning damage as the whirlwind buffets you violently. Make a concentration check for your spell.
Where is that when I need it? A dirty 20.
Okay, so you maintain your levitation. It flings you, but only to an extent. You know, you fly some, 20 feet through the air, kind of hurtle back towards, towards the waves, but it's not enough to actually, slam you into the water. You've still got, you were up pretty high, right? So you've still got some
Vapor's
good
going to
elevation.
channel his levitation to bring him back up, not 20 feet back up.
Okay. So
Like,
he's
not
go
backing
right back
down.
up to the elemental, yes?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
not backing down. He's showing that he's not going to back down from this. And then, okay. I don't have the spells probably to be best against this, but let me double check my spells because I might be able to do something very accurate here.
I know you have one new spell which would probably work.
Yeah, well, I technically have a couple, but I want to make sure how this works. Okay, so there's that.
Very few things immune to psychic damage.
Yes, and I just want to make sure how this is going to works. Okay, so I'm actually going to do some stuff in kind of a reverse order because I think I can do this if I'm reading, if my magic will let me.
What you do?
So give me a second. Okay, so if I quicken a spell, I can cast a cantrip, correct?
Yep.
As a bonus action.
Yeah.
Okay.
The spell is cast as a bonus action.
Yeah, the
cantrip
quicken
takes your
spell is
standard.
cast as a bonus, and when you cast a bonus action spell, you're limited to only casting cantrips.
Okay.
On that.
All right. Then Vapor is going to cast Mind Sliver using Quicken Spell.
I see what you're doing. Good move.
Yeah.
Sliver. Okay.
If this hits, it reduces its next saving throw. So it's a
Yes,
good.
he needs
Okay.
to
You pass the
make
mind
an
sliver
intelligence
cantrip.
saving throw.
Okay. All right.
Though I am going up against a god, so this might not work.
Well, not you're going up against its servant.
13 intelligence saving throw.
Damn, that just makes it.
Just makes it. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have a +4. You have a +3.
Yeah. I'm only...
Your charisma is a 16 or
My Christmas is 17.
17. Okay.
Oh, well, that's still a +3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost. If you had one more.
Yeah.
Do you still quicken the spell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
And
because I had
so-
to do it as a bonus action.
Yep. Which spell do you quicken?
That was the spell. It was the Mind Sliver was the spell that...
No. That was the cantrip.
Oh,
The
the
spell
one that
that you're
I'm
gonna
picking
do.
is
Yeah.
going to be... Sorry, now I gotta...
Tasha's
Tasha's
Lash.
Mind...
Tasha's mind.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it makes another intelligence saving throw.
I believe it's a
Comes up with an 8 for a fail.
Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh. So
I mean, if it's what I think it is, that's not that impressive.
No, hold on. Okay. No, because it's now limited to one
3d6 psychic damage. Roll that first.
3d6.
It
So give me
can't take a reaction until the end of its next turn, Esper.
And on its next turn, it can only take
Moreover, it
action,
can
bonus action,
only
or
do
move.
one thing.
so it chooses which it gets. It gets to either choose to take a move, an action, or bonus action. It only gets one of those.
Okay. So
In theory, if you don't end within its melee range, it can't attack you with a melee reach. It has to move to you or use a ranged.
Mhm.
yeah. But since I'm facing a magic user, this is probably not the best, but it's the only spell that really I can
No, I mean
use.
psychic damage probably gets right through anything, unless it's resistant. Yes,
So that's
it's
12
not.
points of damage.
Okay. Yep, that works well. And yeah, since it's important, where do you want to end? Do you want to end away from the creatures?
Yeah,
So
he
that-
does not want. Vapor does not want to be within melee.
Okay,
Put-
so
put
just
yourself
distance between yourself and the creature. You'll still have
Yeah.
some speed on your levitation. Okay, so on its turn, it moves. It moves very quickly, but that's all it can do this turn is move.
Correct.
And it engulfs you once again. Nothing's immediately happening, but it's like all around you.
It's in your
within-
space.
Yeah, you're sharing spaces exactly, and then
Yeah.
it's back to you.
Okay, so
I've used one of these Esper recently. That's why it's fresh in my mind.
Okay.
all right. So I do need, before I forget, I do need to make the wild magic save. Okay, that's a success. And let me mark at least one spell burned. Okay.
Should have 2 more metamagic points if you need to try that again on your next turn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good combo.
Yeah.
It is a good combo.
Okay.
And then you can move again so that even if it fails the save, then
Yeah.
it can't attack you again.
Okay. So
It's just a real question is, can you do enough damage before your spell slots run out?
yeah. I'm debating if I should use Thunder Wave or another Tasha's Mind Whip. I think it's going to be resistant.
I think the
Thunder
mind
Wave.
is good.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to drop another Mind Whip on
Okay.
it.
Comes up with a 10 int save.
So that doesn't save.
So you're just casting this as a standard action, right?
Yeah, just a standard action. And oh my gosh, that is near max damage. 12. So that's 20 points of damage.
20. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Wow.
That's impressive.
20?
Wait, how did you get 20 on 3d6?
Oh, no, well, sorry, that's wrong. That's
I had a moment there. Where I was
17.
like,
17. Yeah.
that makes more sense.
17?
sorry.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
still
that's
good.
Hella good for.
Yeah.
for
And
3d6.
I just rolled a natural 20 for the meta magic. So does that mean anything?
It's the one. You
It's
got to
a
roll
one
one.
on a wild
Yeah.
magic save.
Okay. Damn. I was hoping I could use.
Although
give
some
more.
DMs use a house rule that it goes up by one every time. It doesn't trigger till it does trigger.
Oh, that's a cool house rule.
Yeah.
you like that
We'll have
house
to
rule?
implement that at some point.
All right, Esper, think about it because basically it resets after it goes
Okay.
off. But it
What was
kinda,
the-
I
what
have
was the
very,
house rule
I have
again?
very limited time, so
Yeah.
let's increase the speed. I know this will increase the
So
chaos.
Vapor
thing,
is going to
but
move
I think
out of
that
melee.
fits. Okay, so you have a tactic that you're using here, and you mind whip the thing, and then you move out of its space, and it can't opportunity attack you. It's all dazed,
Yeah.
and then when it gets to its turn, it's
can
really
move.
left without a good option, and it comes like back all disoriented back upon you, and do you whip it again?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, seems like a good tactic. It's a
Oh.
second level spell, so you should just have this one last one, right?
Yeah. This will be the last one of it.
Right, fourth level. Okay.
May as well just keep on blasting it with cantrips and
Totally fails. Ends
Okay.
up with a 1.
3d6 more damage.
Okay. So that's not as good as last time, but it's still pretty high of 13 points of damage.
That's fantastic. For
And
basically, it couldn't attack you for 3 turns in a row.
12. So no wild magic.
And then you
And
move.
it's going to once again move out of. move
Okay.
out.
And that's that, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so it continues to pursue you. You're going up and down. So by this point, you're getting close to the waves. Like you can look down and, you're maybe like just a few feet above the, where the waves crest up, right? The top of a wave crest is almost like hitting your feet, but the low part's probably like 10 feet down or so, maybe even more than that. And the creature is upon you once again. That's all it was able to do, was just its move. It's engulfed you, and it's like about ready to cyclone you again, but it's back to your turn.
Okay, so since I'm out of that, I think I'm going to drop a Thunder Wave on it. I don't have any other level
Thunder
2
Wave?
spells.
Okay. So, with a Thunder
No other
Wave, it
good,
makes a con save. It comes up with a 15.
But that Tasha's Brew. I thought you had the Tasha's Caustic Brew.
No, I don't.
What? I thought you took that one.
No, that was in another campaign that we were in. That-
Oh, that's right. Gotcha.
Yeah, so, okay, give me a second. I got to double check Thunder.
It's
a Constitution saving throw.
you made
Yeah.
the save. You got a 15, and it's like 2d8 thunder damage.
Yeah, I just want to check the damage. So it's
Yeah.
2d8.
So he'll take 1/4 of whatever that damage.
Yeah, I was more hoping for it to blast it back, but this is fine. So that's 6 points of damage.
All right, so half is 3, and half of that's 1. That you smash the thing into it. You attempt to, right, with your thunder.
Yeah.
And it has this like rumbling thunder laughter, and cyclones you all over again. Make a strength saving throw.
Would have done more damage with your cantrip.
Yeah, probably would have. Okay, I think I actually succeeded that with an 18.
Yes, 18 succeeds.
Oh, by the way, the wild magic was a 1.
Ooh.
Maybe this is your moment to shine.
Well, very apropos. Make a D100 roll.
Which happened before its turn because it happened when he cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, 60.
60?
I regain your lowest level extended spell slot.
Which,
All
if you
right,
hadn't
so a
used
1.
that first level spell.
Yeah, okay, so you regain back your first level slot. The power of the storm is with you, invigorating your magic. You resist the whirlwind. You take half damage, but you are not flung. Okay. 3. Oh my god, I rolled atrociously low.
That's good.
It's like this thing just can't damage you. 6. All right, so it's 6 bludgeoning reduces to 3, a mere 3, You're not flung. Make a Constitution save for your levitation.
Good.
18.
Okay, 18 is enough. And it's back to your turn.
Spike its mind.
Yeah, let's do a mind sliver.
You know its in save sucks.
Yeah. I know thunder won't affect you, but I do know these will, and is going to focus his mind on
Mind Sliver,
just
it
damage.
fails with a 10.
Nope.
Yep.
And that's
D6, and then it subtracts 1d4 from its next saving throw it makes before the end of your next turn, which means that your next Mind Sliver will have a 1d4 subtracted from it.
2 points of damage.
Okay.
You don't have a twin spell, do you?
I do actually.
You have
You do that on the cantrip.
You have reduced the creature to half of its hit points, and you've survived like 5
no, I
rounds.
don't have twin. I only have quicken, distance, empowered.
Don't worry about all of that. You've reduced the creature to half of its hit points, and you have survived like 5 rounds of combat. Not only survived, but you've dominated the fight, and the creature, subsumes back into the tempest. And the rumble of thunder once again sounds, and everybody on board the ship just hears this as like this booming thunder that like rattles the walls and the floors. You hear it as primordial speech, "Impressive, mortal." And a flash of lightning comes down. It strikes you, though it does not strike you in the sense of attacking you, but rather like cocoons you in this like crackling arcs of lightning as you are there levitating amidst the storm, and imbues you with some power. So I will grant you 2 things here, O Vapor the Bold. I will first grant you it's got to be milestones. Should I do 2 or do 1?
Either way, I'm leveling up.
He wasn't going to actually kill you. So I don't think the threat of death was truly on the table.
I would, if it wasn't a threat of death, I would say
I'll give you
then.
1. I'll give you 1.
Okay, well that's
It
a
will be
level right there,
long
which is
shot
awesome.
for a threat of death. But so you've gained a milestone, so that's cool. You also have gained an additional spell. This is like in addition to what you get on your class table. And it has to be a spell that has a theme of like storm, wind, lightning.
Which is already what I'm doing with Vapor. So that's not too hard to do. I just got to find one that's within my spell
anything
list.
from cantrip up to 3rd level, pick that and you learn that spell.
Oh, up to 3rd level. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you could get lightning bolt if you want. You could get, I don't know what else is on the sorcerer's list. Gust of wind. So I think that's the perfect point to end. I must slip away as though the storm winds are carrying me, as I have a thing that I must attend to. But a really amazing note to end the session on.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up, and thank you for running the game, Esper.
Yes, thank you all as well.
Oh my.
Glad I got through this despite being rather tired. And to be continued. We'll begin next session with like Vapor like coming down out of the storm with like lightning in his eyes and some new power flowing through him.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Technically 1 eye, because he is missing 1.
Oh, that's right. I always forget about that. But it's on your character art, so okay, cool. Well, maybe your socket will have lightning coming out of it. I don't know. Maybe you have a lightning eye now. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Another great session, and see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.